Today is Conference Championship Day here in the Kansas Dynasty on EA College Football 25. Of course, our Jayhawks will be facing off against Utah in the Big 12 Championship. But that's not all. We're going to go through each and every Conference Championship game today. The final opportunity for many of these teams to prove to the playoff committee why they belong. And of course, the winners of many of these power conferences will be getting automatic bids into the playoff, and most of them will be getting first round buys. So a big opportunity for teams to prove themselves here in front of the playoff reveal. This is what the bracket looks like currently. We would be slated as the 8th seed playing against SMU in the first round. But if we do lose this game against Utah, that would put us at 11-2, and it would make things a little bit murky. I think there's a chance we can still get in with a loss, but it is far from a lock. The interesting thing about our schedule is we haven't played any ranked opponents all season. The best record that any of our opponents have is 7-5. We really haven't faced off against hard competition, so this is going to be a major difference, facing off against the 6th ranked team in the country. And of course, this is not the only relevant game. The SEC, ACC, and Big Ten championships will likely determine the other first-round buys, and the Group 5 conference champions will determine who our Group 5 representative will be. The highest-ranked Group 5 team will get an automatic bid into the playoff. This is what our rankings currently look like. 12-0 Oregon currently at number 1. Of course, we are slated at number 7. And many of these teams ranked high are not in conference championships. Teams like Texas and Notre Dame really don't have anything to worry about. They're not going to get first-round buys, but they are locks into the playoff. I think this 11-13 range is going to be a fascinating cutoff. If a team like Liberty wins and moves up a few spots, they could easily jump some of those teams ahead of them. Right now, Miami's the last team in and Rutgers is the first team out. I'm curious to see if we have any bid stealers, such as, say, NC State. If they beat Miami, do the Hurricanes still get in, which would maybe take a spot away from somebody else? Also, the last opportunity for players in the Heisman race, amongst other awards, to prove themselves. Of course, Jalen Daniels currently in 3rd there, behind a couple of players, including Dylan Gabriel, who, of course, will be facing off against the Michigan defense for a second time this season. So we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get started. We're going to start with the Group 5 Conference Championships, and we're not necessarily going to go in chronological order here, per se. I do want to point out that we've already had one conference championship, the lone in-conference Pac-12 game in Week 13, which was won by Washington State. So technically, the Cougars have already won their conference, and we'll see who joins them. We're going to start things off with the Mountain West game between Fresno State and Boise State. And going into the final week of the regular season, Boise State, I'm pretty sure, was the 3rd-ranked Group of 5 team, and they had pretty much as good of a shot as, say, Liberty and Tulane of making the playoff. But with a late loss to Oregon State, the Broncos are now unranked, and they're going to need a lot to happen if they want to get in. Their opponent is the 8-4 Fresno State Bulldogs, who started the year off red hot, 7-2, with their only losses against Michigan, who's in the Big Ten Championship, and Washington State, who, again, won their conference by technicality. Since then, they've lost 2 of 3, in large part to their starting quarterback, Mikey Keene, tearing his pec. He's not going to play, and the freshman Jaden Mandel will get the start instead. They've got some good skill position players, though. Solid receiving core. Malik Sherrod, the running back, has a chance to get drafted into the NFL. And they've got a pretty decent defense. 8.5 sacks for Davo Bridges. And then Dean Clark, one of the better defensive backs in the conference. But Boise State is still certainly the favorite in this game. Of course, they nearly beat undefeated Oregon on the road, losing by just 4. And I really feel like they would have had maybe the best Group 5 resume if not for their loss last week against Oregon State, which really complicates things. They are also without their starting quarterback, Malachi Nelson, who suffered a wrist injury. If Boise State were to theoretically make the playoff, he would be available. They've also been without running back Ashton Jeanty for the last 6 games, but he is healthy, and he will make his return, playing in his first game since Week 7. That's a big deal for them. They've got a strong defense, some good defensive backs, and a couple of really good pass rushers. Not to mention, this game is in the snow. I will say I'm a little bit disappointed that this game happened to be the snowy one, because otherwise we could have seen the blue turf, but nonetheless, it should be fun. Fresno State and Boise State, 2 very strong teams, each playing backup quarterbacks, might I mention, and I'm excited to watch the talented running back Ashton Jeanty in action, who again has missed half of the season with an injury. Fresno State with it on 3rd and 8. They're just going to run the ball, oddly enough, and they've actually had a pretty good drive here They really ran it well with Malik Sherrod, but they wanted to stick with it on third down, and it doesn't work, as that'll bring out the field goal unit. Dylan Lynch on to kick, and this one is up and good from 44. Fresno State, the first team to score here on Conference Championship Weekend. As we take a look at Boise State, Maddox Madsen, the backup quarterback, leads the way on 3rd and 5. He's under pressure, and he is sacked. Corey Foreman brings him down. And for those of you who may follow high school football recruiting, this is a name who should be very familiar to you. Back in 2021, Corey Foreman was the #1 ranked player in the entire country. Went to USC, things didn't really work out, transfers to Fresno State, and he blows up this third down play. Fresno State would get it back, they would march all the way down the field, and Malik Sherrod would punch his way into the end zone for a touchdown. A great start for the Bulldogs as they lead this one 10-0. Boise State's got to get things going. They look deflated after their recent loss against Oregon State. 3rd and 3 now in the second quarter. Short pass is caught for a first and more with room, and he gets it to around the 2-yard line. A really nice play after the catch there by the senior Latrell Caples. So now they've got it at around the 2-yard line, looking to match Fresno State's score. And it's Ashton Jeanty, the All-American running back, in for a score, and Boise State is on the board. When Jeanty's been healthy, he's been really good this year, but again, health has been the issue. I think there's a chance he would have entered the draft if not for the injury. Now it's a little bit more in question. As on 3rd down, Boise State is in the backfield with a sack. Big defensive play there by number 98, Herbert Gums. The Broncos get it back. Now the chance to take the lead. Certainly a far cry after that rough start. As Ashton Jeanty has room to the right side, breaks a tackle into the red zone, and he gets it to around the 12. A big run there for Jeanty. And now Boise State is really close. We'll see if they can punch it in here on 3rd and 1. Empty backfield for Madsen. Short throw is caught for a score. Latrell Caples with the touchdown. And Boise State takes a 14-10 lead after a rough start in the first quarter. So Fresno State's looking to get some momentum back on 3rd down. Mandel under pressure. Sacked again. Another QB takedown for the Broncos. This time it's Jaden Virgin Morgan. Boise State back with it late in the half. It's picked off in the end zone. They wanted to make it a 2-score lead, but Justin Johnson, the talented safety, jumps the route. The freshman forces the turnover, and that'll wrap up an exciting first half here in Boise. The first quarter was all about Fresno State. The second quarter, all about Boise State. The Broncos lead 14-10, but Fresno State did take some momentum away with the interception by Johnson, as that'll bring us into the third quarter. Boise State opens up with the football. First play from scrimmage here in the second half. It's a play-action fake. Madsen looking downfield, and that one is hauled in for a first down. Austin Bolt, the senior native of Boise, makes the play. And then into the red zone, Ashton Jeanty scores his second touchdown of the game. And Boise State adds to the lead. It's 21-10 as he tries to put the defense to bed. Still plenty of time here left in this game. It's a 3rd and 11 for Jaden Mandel and Fresno State. He's an empty, looking to throw it. Looking downfield, and that one is incomplete. A good stop there for the Broncos. Nothing is going Fresno State's way since the first quarter. This is quickly turning into a disaster, and it looks like it's going to get even worse. Ashton Jeanty breaks the tackle, and he is gone. 51-yard touchdown, a hat trick, his 3rd score of the day. And once he broke that initial tackle, there was no question he would take it all the way. Fresno State did not have a safety back deep there to potentially stop him at the next level. 28-10 as the defense for Boise State gets another stop. And obviously, Fresno State might as well go for it here in the fourth quarter. Down by 18. What do they have to lose? Mandel looking downfield. It's caught by a wide-open receiver. It's Jalen Moss. The All-American sophomore takes it all the way for a 68-yard touchdown. And hey, maybe the door is still open for Fresno State, who has not scored since the first quarter. Moss is a really good player, but he has been quiet in this one as Ashton Jeanty loses 3 or 4 on 3rd down. It's Corey Foreman again who brings him down. Boise State would be forced to punt it. Fresno State's not out of it here. 2nd and 3. Mandel up the middle. He's picked off. Interception for the defense, and he's going to look to return it. It's a Marion McCoy, the senior corner, who makes the play. That might have iced the game for Boise State, up by 11. forcing the turnover. Their offense just needs to chew some clock and run an efficient offense, which with a guy like Ashton Jeanty, that shouldn't be too hard. 3rd and 4, short throw for Jeanty is caught, but he is wrapped up out of bounds after losing 5. So Boise State's going to kick the field goal. This is from like 60 yards in the snow. Doink off the crossbar, no good. I got to give this kicker credit. He almost made it. I'm still not sure why they went for the kick, but it had the distance. It was just a little bit wide to the right. So it remains an 11-point game as Fresno State gets it back. Time is winding down, though. They've got to move quick. 3rd and 4. Mandel looks to throw it. Looking downfield, it's caught by Jalen Moss for a first down into the red zone. If they can score here, it's only a one-score game. They wouldn't fully be out of it. 2nd and goal. Mandel looks to throw it to the left side. He's intercepted again. Rodney Robinson picks it off, and he's got nothing but blue ahead of him. A 99-yard pick six for Boise State. And they are now ahead by 3 scores. A huge play from Robinson. 2nd interception of the 4th quarter for the Boise State defense. And it looks like they might have iced this game. Now up by 18. 4th and 17. This one is picked off again. Andrew Simpson now with the interception. And it's another pick six for Boise State. 2 late pick sixes and 3 interceptions total in the 4th quarter for the Boise State Bronco defense. And that should just about do it for good. Another 4th down here for Fresno State. As long as they don't throw an interception, honestly, that might be progress, as that one is broken up. He was looking for Jalen Moss, and that's going to do it. Fresno State falls in defeat to Boise State here in the Mountain West Championship, 42-17. I will say I feel like this game was a lot more competitive than the score suggested, but the 2 pick sixes down the stretch certainly hurt Fresno State significantly. The real star of the show is definitely running back Ashton Jeanty. 26 carries, 207 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He did not miss a beat after missing the second half of the season with an injury. And while it is still unlikely that this Boise State team makes the playoff, I will say, of the Group 5 teams remaining, I don't think there's a better player on any of those squads than Ashton Jeanty. A truly special, special talent. And Boise State's defense played really well, too. Only 7 points allowed after the first quarter. 3 interceptions in the final frame, including 2 pick sixes. They really did not ask a lot out of Maddox Madsen. He was fine, but it was really the rest of the team who stood out. Obviously, Ashton Jeanty was incredible, as we mentioned. The receivers were pretty solid. Latrell Caples in particular. And then this defense was really good. Sending pressure. 2 sacks for Virgin Morgan. 1.5 for Gums. And, of course, the 3 interceptions. Jaden Mandel definitely looked like a freshman in that 4th quarter with the 3 interceptions. I thought otherwise he was fine, though. Malik Sherrod had a good game. They really couldn't utilize him that much in the second half, though, considering they were losing. Jake Bouse, the tight end, with a huge performance. And they had some individual solid games defensively. Corey Foreman, the former #1 prospect in the country, had a good showing with a sack and a half. That'll bring us to the MAC Conference Championship game between Bowling Green and the University of Miami of Ohio. The Redhawks have had a really interesting season. They're number 22. They are one of the hottest Group 5 teams in the nation, but Bowling Green is no slouch. They have some of the most high-end talent in the MAC. Only ended up winning 7 games, but got that spot in the conference championship over a Toledo team who for much of the season looked like the favorite in the conference. Bowling Green's played against some really good teams, and they held their own. Only lost by 7 against Penn State, only lost by 14 against Texas A&M. They've been a little bit shaky as of recent, and they just played against Miami in Week 14, losing. So it's a rematch for both of these teams. They have a good running back in Terrion Stewart, who averaged 6 yards a carry. They have a really solid tight end with Harold Fannin Jr. And Connor Bazelak, the quarterback, is certainly no slouch. And not to mention, they have 2 pass rushers with 10-plus sacks. They also have a really good corner with Jordan Oladoke and a kid who has a real shot to get drafted. Miami started 1-4 with some losses to Notre Dame, UMass, and Toledo, but ever since then, they've been red hot. They have won 7 games in a row, including beating Bowling Green on the road, so they already know what it takes to beat these guys. Brett Gabbard is probably the best quarterback in the MAC. Kenny Tracy and Javon Tracy, these siblings, are the best skill position players on this roster, and they have a really good linebacking core, legitimately one of the best in the country. Brian Ugu as well, really good pass rusher, finished the year with 6 sacks. So it should be a fun one here at Ford Field in Detroit, home of the Lions. Not many championships in this building, Unfortunately, hopefully that changes. But there will be one today. We'll see if Miami can win their 8th consecutive game and try to continue to push for that Group 5 playoff spot, or if Bowling Green can get the upset and essentially take the MAC out of playoff consideration, even though, again, it's kind of a long shot anyway, with multiple Group 5 teams ranked ahead of Miami. 2nd and 8 here for the Red Hawks. So moving down the field really nicely as they'll get a nice first down here. A solid gain into the red zone to around the 10. That's Javon Tracy, the sophomore. 3rd down and 12 now. Gabbert under pressure. Hit as he throws, incomplete. Good pressure there by the Bowling Green defense, and that will force a field goal try in an attempt to make this a 3-0 lead. The kick is up, and it is through. So Miami of Ohio is on the board. They lead 3-0, and now we take a look at the Bowling Green offense, who's moving it pretty well so far with the veteran senior Connor Bazelak as he hands it up the middle on 3rd and 12, and they get nothing. Trying to get something going there with Terrion Stewart, but again, I feel like on that 3rd down play, if you're looking for a field goal, you should still try to throw the ball. Make sure you're in field goal range, and since they're not, they're going to have to punt it away. So Miami gets it back with the lead. Here is Gabbert on 1st down, looking downfield. It's picked off! Interception for the Falcon defense, and they're going to get a nice return out of it. Can he take it all the way? This is Ja'Cory Benjamin. He does! A 71-yard pick six, and Bowling Green takes the lead. We had 2 pick sixes in the last game, and it looks like we're not done with the defensive touchdowns. What a play there for Benjamin, the senior corner from Mobile, Alabama, and that'll make it 7-3. Miami back with it. It's nearly intercepted again. Benjamin had another pick six right in his hands, but he's unable to hang on. Bowling Green back with it now here in the 2nd quarter. Nice throw up the middle. Nearly goes for a 1st down into the hands of Harold Fannin Jr., the All-American tight end. But he is a little bit short, and they're going to have to kick the field goal here. This one is up and through from the kicker, that being Alan Anaya. And with that, it is 10-3. Miami's got to get something going here. They look pretty good on their opening possession, but since then it's been mostly tough sledding. Gabbert up the middle, picked again! Another interception for Bowling Green. This time it's Brock Horn. The senior linebacker makes the play, and Brett Gabbert, who, again, is one of the best Group 5 quarterbacks in the nation, has had a rough showing today. He looks more like his brother Blaine Gabbert, at least when he was in the NFL in Jacksonville. And now Bowling Green has it back with a chance to really add to this lead, as that one is caught inside the 10 for a 1st down, hauled in there by Malcolm Johnson Jr., the senior receiver. And now it's a 1st and goal. Bazelak looks to throw it up the middle. That is caught for a score. Javon Tillman with the touchdown for Bowling Green, and it is 17-3, an upset so far here in Detroit. Miami's got to get it together here with around a minute left in the half. Gabbert on 1st down under pressure, and this time he is sacked. Multiple defenders in the backfield. Devontae Miles and Dontrez Brown sending pressure from the middle. And that'll make it a 3rd and 19. They're just going to run the ball. Try to make Bowling Green burn one of their timeouts as Kenny Tracy gets a decent gain, but not too much. Bowling Green can make it a 3-score lead here late in the 2nd quarter. Bazelak on 1st down. Connects. That one is hauled in for a nice play after the catch by number 2, R.J. Garcia II, who gets it to around the 45-yard line. Following play here for Bowling Green. Bazelak looks to throw it up the middle, and that one is hauled in for another 1st down. Javon Tillman, who had the touchdown on the last possession, makes the play. 2nd and 10 now with under 30 seconds left. Bazelak with a strike for a score. Malcolm Johnson Jr. with the touchdown, and it is 24-3. Miami's hoping for a miracle here before the end of the 1st half, and they'll get their prayers answered. Javon Tracy with a 60-yard touchdown to end the 1st half. Finally, something goes well here for Miami in what otherwise was a disastrous 1st half. Bowling Green leads 24-10. Their defense has forced a pair of turnovers. The offense is looking really good. Connor Bazelak has been very impressive. But Miami finally got something going there. They really haven't looked downfield often. They finally do, and it leads to a big play. Maybe they should look to get the vertical passing game going more often. Another dropped interception for Benjamin. He should have 3 pick sixes right now. Miami's going to go for it on 4th and 3. Given the field position, given that you're down by 14, I like the call here. but it's incomplete. Broken up in the secondary. Bowling Green gets it back. 3rd and 15. Bazelak overthrows his target. I think he was looking for Johnson with the touchdown on the possession late in the first half. Miami back with it. Gabbert sends it downfield again. Another big play and another line touchdown. All of a sudden, it is a one-score game. Cameron Perry, the leading receiver, with his first catch of the game, and it comes at a pretty good time. All of a sudden, Miami's only down by 7. They're right back in this game. Bowling Green's got to respond. On first down, they'll stick it with Johnson. He's got room on the jet sweep. Tries to outrun the defender, and he is tracked down at the 1. What a run for Malcolm Johnson Jr. He gets 68 yards on the play. And then on 1st and goal, Terrion Stewart is in for the touchdown. A quick response for Bowling Green. It's now 31-17. We have gotten some real explosives in this game. These two offenses are fun. Gabbert hit as he throws. He's picked off for a 3rd time. Another interception. This time it's Joseph Sipp Jr., the junior linebacker from Tampa, Florida. And Bowling Green gets it back with great field position. Ever since Miami made it a one-score game and they got momentum back, it has quickly drifted away. Their defense does get the stop here on 3rd down, forcing the incompletion. But Bowling Green will look to make the field goal and make it a 3-possession lead. Anaya from roughly 40 yards out. That one is good. And so Bowling Green is up 34-17. So they once again have that comfortable lead right back. Miami back with it here, 2nd and 11. Gabbert looks to throw it up the middle. Picked off again! Brock Horn, the linebacker, with his 2nd interception of the game. And for those of you counting at home, Brett Gabbert has been picked off 4 times in this game. It has been a disastrous showing for Gabbert. So Bowling Green has it with good field position, 2nd and goal, trying to add to their lead, and they will. Jason Patterson with the score, the senior running back from Jacksonville. It's 41-17. Miami, at this point, hoping for a miracle as Gabbert lobs it up, and it is hauled in for another score. Javon Tracy with his 2nd long touchdown reception of the game. All 3 of Gabbert's touchdowns have been really long passes. That's what this team has to stick with. Bowling Green cannot cover these throws 30-plus yards downfield. They do get the sack here on the 2-point try. It'll remain a 3-score lead as we go to the following Miami possession. Not a lot of time left. Still down by 18. Gabbert has a wide-open man downfield. Another huge play. This time it's the tight end, Connor Briggs, who gets around 29 yards. And they would score a touchdown. Finally, a short one. This one is hauled in by Javon Tracy, his 3rd receiving touchdown of the game. That's a hat trick. Miami's offense looks good now that they have a sense of urgency, but they're still down by a significant margin. 41-30. Can Bowling Green finish off the job? On 2nd down, it's a handoff for Patterson. He'll get the 1st down to the right side as he's wrapped up past the 25. And we do have an injured offensive lineman for the Falcons, but they are moving it well, close to the red zone, trying to add one more score for some insurance. 3rd and 3. They'll go back to Patterson with a 1st and more. Gets by multiple defenders, and he brings it to the 1. Miami's still calling their timeouts as if they have a chance, but realistically, it's not looking good. Terrion Stewart dives in for the touchdown, and with that, Bowling Green is up 48-30. Late here in this one. Miami at this point playing for pride, down by 3 possessions. Here is Gabbert on 1st down. This one is hauled in, and it looks like it could be another huge gain. Down the field, it's going to be a 77-yard play for the running back, Kenny Tracy. Now in empty here on 1st and goal. Gabbert's been picked off 4 times, but he's also thrown 4 touchdowns looking for a 5th, and he gets it with a beautiful throw here, hauled in again by Kenny Tracy. The Tracy brothers have combined for 4 receiving touchdowns today as the onside kick is nearly recovered by Miami, but Bowling Green ends up with it, and that should do it for good. An exciting MAC championship with a lot of big plays from both sides, but Bowling Green wins it 48-37. Our first upset of the day as the Falcons win the MAC. So I think at this point, obviously, there will be no MAC team in the playoff. Maybe Bowling Green is ranked. Miami, of course, beat these guys a couple weeks ago on their home turf, But the Falcons get revenge in the matchup that really counts, ultimately winning the conference crown. Not sure if we're going to have a game more exciting than this. Even though Bowling Green was in control pretty much the whole time, the amount of big plays we had from both of these offenses, Miami in particular, these two teams put on a spectacle. But the Bowling Green Falcons end up winning the MAC with another fun year of midweek maction. This box score should be very interesting. A lot of points and a lot of yards. Miami with 530 yards of offense, 438 passing yards. And I think they only had like 60 in the first half, which is the weird part. Brett Gabbert with one of the stat lines of all time, 438 yards and 5 touchdowns, but he only completed 50% of his passes and threw 4 picks. That is Jameis Winston to a T. Javon Tracy led the way in the receiving game, 5 catches for 135 yards and 3 touchdowns, scoring over half the time he got the ball. Problem is, the defense didn't show up, other than Jamar Stackhouse with a pair of sacks. Connor Bazelak was pretty solid. He didn't make mistakes, maybe not as many big throws as Gabbert, but he was really solid despite a kind of quiet game from Terrion Stewart, who is, again, one of the better running backs in the conference, but he did not have that impressive of the day. The defense was certainly beat in the back end, but they also forced plenty of turnovers. 4, to be specific. Horn leads the way with 2, and that'll bring us to Boone, North Carolina for the Sun Belt Championship between 10-2 Texas State and 10-2 Appalachian State. Of all 9 conference championship games, I really wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being the best one. These are 2 dynamic, explosive offenses, and I think these 2 teams are the most evenly matched that we'll see today. And we'll start with Texas State, who had a really strong season going 10-2. Lost a close one to a good Sam Houston team. And look at all the points this team scores. One of the best offenses in the country, and that's because of their quarterback, Jordan McLeod, the transfer from James Madison, who threw 45 touchdowns in the regular season to just 4 interceptions. Statistically, I would argue he was the best quarterback in the country. Obviously, they've got plenty of good receivers and some young ones at that. 3 guys with double-digit touchdowns in that group, and a few skill position players who I think are going to play in the NFL one day. Their defense is a little bit suspect, though, but this offense can match up with just about anyone. As for Appalachian State, they lost to Clemson and Liberty early in the year. Those are 2 formidable losses. Clemson is a strong power school who was really good early in the year, and Liberty, they only lost 1 game. We're going to see them later today. Otherwise, Appalachian State has rolled through their schedule. Joey Aguilar, the senior quarterback, has had a very strong season, only 3 interceptions. The run game has been a little inconsistent, but the connection of Aguilar and senior wide receiver Christian Horn has been huge. Both Horn and Aguilar are going to get an opportunity in the NFL. I'm not sure how highly they're going to get picked. Horn, I think, definitely will get drafted. Aguilar, maybe not. But nonetheless, these are 2 guys who are going to have an opportunity to make rosters in the big leagues. Would not be surprised to see this be a high-scoring game. Maybe not as high-scoring as the last one, considering we almost had 90 points. But still, I think there's going to be a lot. McLeod nearly intercepted, though. They're on 3rd down. Honestly, should have been intercepted as the talented corner Ethan Johnson gets his hands on it, the junior. And that'll bring out the field goal unit. This is a long kick, and it is off the crossbar. No good. So Mason Shipley sends that one a little bit to the left. It had the distance. And we'll now take a look at the App State offense. Joey Aguilar and company. It's a play action on 1st down. Aguilar steps up in the pocket and fires for a wide open receiver. That goes for a nice gain. It'll move the chains as it's Michael Hetzel who makes the play, the slot receiver. Not in the slot on that play, but he usually is. On 3rd and 10, this one is in and out of the hands of Dalton Stroman. He should have come down with it. A hard catch, but it was right in his mitts. That'll bring out the field goal team as the Mountaineers look to score first, and they do. The kick is good for Michael Hughes, and Appalachian State leads it 3-0. Texas State back with it. It's a pitch, and it's a fumble! Who's going to scoop it up? It's the defense! And it's going to be a scoop and score. Ethan Johnson with the touchdown, and Appalachian State adds to the lead. Bo Sparks, the talented sophomore receiver who's one of the best playmakers on this offense, is the one who coughs it up. And Johnson, one of the best defensive players in the Sun Belt, takes it the distance off of the forced fumble by another great player in this secondary, Jordan Favors. On this possession, Texas State again Doesn't get much, and they will have to punt it away. That was the running back Ishmael Mahadi with the carry, and now App State has it back. Nice throw for a first down into the hands of Christian Horn, the talented senior receiver who I believe, outside of McLeod, is the best offensive player in the conference, as Aguilar is picked off, just his 4th of the year. Manny Nunnery picks it off, and Texas State finally gets something to go their way in what has been a pretty rough one so far. Now they have it in the red zone. Their offense has done a good job of responding off of the turnover. We'll see if they can make it a one-score game. It is a 3rd and goal, though. Here is McLeod looking for the end zone. It's broken up. The linebacker got a hand on it, and that'll bring out the field goal unit. It's a chip shot here for Mason Shipley. Give or take around 25 yards to finally put the Bobcats on the board. And it is no good! He missed again! Once more wide to the right. That is an easy kick, about as easy as it gets. But Shipley is off the mark again. Nothing is going Texas State's way. One of the best offenses in the country has still been held off the board late in the first half. And Appalachian State looks to potentially add to their lead. 3rd and 11, here is Aguilar under pressure, and he is sacked. Got nothing on that play as he is wrapped up by Devin Wright, the junior edge rusher, having a big season for Texas State. They'll get it back late in the first half and wide open down the field. Can he take it all the way? Yes, he does. Jaden Williams with a 68-yard score uncovered. Again, the back end gives up the big one, and it's 10-7. Texas State back in it. App State with it late in the half. Aguilar sacked again. Once more, it's Devin Wright, his 2nd sack of the game. Texas State gets it back. They have a chance to take the lead, which would be pretty incredible, all things considered. They'll get a big gain here for the first down and then some. It's Bo Sparks who makes the play. McLeod under pressure, brought down in the backfield for a loss of yards. They're going to have to move quickly to the line of scrimmage. It looked like it was Nate Johnson, the linebacker, who brings him down. 3rd and 22 here for Texas State. McLeod looking downfield. It's caught, but not a first down. Sparks with the play, and that'll wrap up the first half. An interesting game so far, 10-7. It's been a good one, maybe not as much offense as we expected. Texas State with just 7 points, but their offense did look better as the first half went along, and we'll see if they can kind of pick up the momentum. If you would say they have it, I would argue they do early in the 3rd. They won't start with it, though. 3rd and 5. Aguilar with a strike. It's going to be a big gain and then some. Caden Robinson takes it to the house, and all the momentum that Texas State could have had, gone. A 74-yard score for Robinson, who's more of the big-bodied target, 6'2", 205. But that time he shows off his ability after the catch, getting by multiple defensive backs, and it's 17-7. Appalachian State right back up by 10. So Texas State's got to respond here. McLeod on 3rd down. Hit as he throws up the middle, wide open. It's Joey Hobart who gets it inside the 10. Hobart is a really good player. Again, one of the very talented skill position players on this roster. And then Ishmael Mahadi punches it in for the score. So Texas State responds. They're only down by 3. Only 2 touchdowns combined in the first half, one of which was by a defense. But already, both offenses marched down the field and scored, looking a lot more like the game we would have expected with 2 of the best Group 5 offenses in the country. McLeod is picked off, though, on first down by Jordan Favors. He will look to take it all the way, and he does! It's a 53-yard pick six. What a game from Jordan Favors, putting his name on the map. He's been flying around the field. He forced the fumble, which led to a scoop and score. Now he gets a pick six, directly responsible for 2 defensive touchdowns. Texas State looks to get one back, and they're close as Bo Sparks brings it into the red zone. 3rd and goal. McLeod with a strike, but it's incomplete. It was in the receiver's hands, but he couldn't come down with it, and that'll bring out the field goal unit. It's been a rough one so far for Mason Shipley, 0 for 2. It's another chip shot, though, from around 24. And he missed again! Mason Shipley's disastrous afternoon continues. He missed one from 25 earlier. This one was from 24. Again, he was towards the right hash, and clearly that's an issue for him as he was wide right both times. It'll remain 24-14 as Appalachian State gets it back. 3rd and 5. They're going to try to run it up the middle, and they don't get much. Might have lost a yard there. It's Markel Haywood, the senior running back. Texas State has it back. The door is still open for them despite their miscues on offense with the turnovers and, of course, the missed kicks. As on third down, that one is just shy of the yard to gain. The running back, Mahadi, is not able to get the conversion, and they're going to go for the field goal. I really don't get this. I get you making a one-score game, but this kicker has really struggled today. Since he misses all the short ones, fittingly, he'll make the long one from 50 because, logic just does not exist in college football. And it's a one-score game. Texas State isn't out of it, 24-17. App State looking to close the door. It won't be on this drive. Lost a yard there on third down, and the Bobcats get it back, only down by 7. 3rd and 12. McLeod up the middle. It is hauled in for a first down, and they will keep the chains moving. Cole Wilson, who's been quiet today, the top receiver on this team, with the reception. This one goes for a decent gain. That'll make it a 3rd down. They've got to continue to move quick. Texas State's got to unleash the playbook a little bit. They have one of the best passing offenses in the nation. Let's see what they can do here. 3rd down and 3 from around the 38-yard line. McLeod looks to call an audible, then throws it. It's broken up. It was in the hands of the receiver, but he cannot hold on. And that'll make it a 4th down and 3. Obviously, they're going to look to go for it here. Down by 7 with under 3 minutes to play. McLeod under pressure, rolls to the right, and it is incomplete. Misfired, trying to throw it on the run. It looked like he was looking for Jaden Williams, but he's unable to connect. Appalachian State back with it, trying to finish off the job, but again, Texas State gets the stop. They'll get it back, and they're moving it nicely past the 30-yard line. On 3rd down, it is broken up, incomplete, and now we've got another 4th down, this time 4th and 10, with 45 seconds left. McLeod will look to throw it under some pressure. It is broken up, incomplete. He was looking for Williams again, and that will do it. Appalachian State wins the Sun Belt Championship 24-17. Not necessarily the game that I expected. I thought we would get a lot of points, a lot of offense, kind of like the MAC game. That does not end up being the case. Of Appalachian State's 3 touchdowns, 2 of them came on the defensive side of the ball. Jordan Favors largely responsible. He deservedly wins the player of the game. He was the best player on the field today. 13 tackles, a TFL, a sack, obviously the fumble force that led to a scoop and score, and then a 53-yard pick 6. He was absolutely incredible, certainly making his mark on this matchup and helping Appalachian State win the Sun Belt Championship. Now, they still realistically will probably need a Tulane and a Liberty loss, but Appalachian State is a real shot to be the Group 5 representative in the playoff if they can have some luck, because this is certainly a resume-building win against a great Texas State team who, again, won double-digit games in the regular season. A lot of offense for Texas State. They more than doubled Appalachian State's yardage total. Joey Aguilar was fine. Nothing spectacular, but he was solid. App State could not run the ball at all. 18 rushing yards as a team. Caden Robinson led the way for them receiving, but it was really the defense who won them this game. Not just the 2 defensive touchdowns, but being able to shut down this explosive Texas State offense. Not to say Jordan McLeod was bad per se, but he wasn't necessarily good. He only completed 60% of his passes. Sure, he threw for 394 yards, but it just felt like this was not his best performance. Mahadi had a solid game on the ground with 106. Bo Sparks with 123 through the air. But the other really good receivers, Hobart and Wilson, were both shut down. Really, really good game for the Appalachian State defense, especially the secondary. Wright for Texas State had a huge game, 5 TFLs, 2 sacks, but unfortunately for him, it won't be enough. And that'll bring us to Tulane. The Rice Owls and the Tulane Green Wave, both teams ranked in the top 25. The winner of this game not only gets a conference championship, but they get a top 25 win, which would be a huge resume builder. We'll start with Rice, who went 9-3. They lost to Tulane earlier in the season back in week 8, but since then they have gone undefeated, winning 5 in a row, including some wins against some solid teams. E.J. Warner, the transfer from Temple, has had a huge season, 32 touchdowns, 3,300 yards. Dean Connors, a running back, is one of the best offensive players in the American Conference. This is a guy who's going to get drafted into the NFL. He's a really good pass-catching back, probably a day 3 pick, but he is definitely going to get selected. As for Tulane, you can easily make the argument that they have the best resume of anybody in Group 5. They beat Kansas State, and they beat Oklahoma. including beating the Sooners on the road. They lost the following week to Louisiana, but given how well they have played, losing by 1 on the road against them doesn't look too bad. However, their Week 14 loss against Memphis is a really bad look. They were the highest-ranked Group of 5 team for most of the season, but that loss pushed them behind Liberty. Nonetheless, this is still a very good team. Ty Thompson, the transfer from Oregon, has had a huge season. They have a great receiving core with Shaz Preston, Mario Williams, and Keith Brown. Running back Mekhi Hughes is one of the best players in the conference. Aiden Huntington, the edge rusher. Patrick Jenkins inside the middle of that defense. One of the most talented teams in all of Group 5. And if there was any Group 5 team to make a run in the playoff, Tulane might be your best bet, considering they are 2-0 against Power 5 teams this year, including an Oklahoma squad who's currently on the fringe of being an at-large team into the playoff. Tulane will start with it. Short throw here from Ty Thompson is hauled in for a first down and a nice play after the catch. Everybody's running into each other. I don't know what that was, but a solid play there for Tulane as they look to strike first. 3rd and 1. Thompson for the end zone. Delivers a bullet. That one goes for a touchdown. It's hauled in by Mario Williams, the transfer from USC. Tulane on the board 7-0 in what so far has been a defensive battle. Not much of anything going for either of these offenses as Tulane has it back here in the second quarter. 3rd and 7. Thompson hit as he throws. He tried to go for the screen but was unsuccessful. Brought down by Blake Bonish on the sack, the junior defensive tackle. And now we get to look at the Rice offense. E.J. Warner up the middle with a bullet. And a very nice gain for Braylon Walker. That moves the chains. Rice has it inside the 15. 2nd and 8 for the Owls. Only 30 seconds left in what has been a quick half as Warner is picked off in the back of the end zone. Intercepted by D.K. Magruder. And that'll wrap up the first half. Certainly not the most exciting offensively. It's only 7-0. Tulane with only 105 yards of offense. Rice with not much more, 130. It has been tough sledding for these teams to move down the field. Both of these defenses look like the real deal. We'll see if either offense is able to get going into the second half. You got to think one of these teams will, given how good these playmakers are. We talked about Dean Connors with Rice. Again, I think he's an NFL caliber running back. Tulane's got some great ones as well, including this guy, Mekhi Hughes. Walks into the end zone for a touchdown, and the sophomore adds to the lead for the Green Wave as they are now up 14-0. Let's see if Rice can get something going here. It is a 2nd down and 8 for the Owls. Pre-snap motion. Warner alone in the backfield. Under pressure. He is sacked. A big loss of yardage there as he is wrapped up on the play by the big fella, Patrick Jenkins, one of the best defensive players in the American Conference. 3rd and 15. Up the middle. It's caught for a first down. Big play for Rice. They needed that one badly. Bowden Groen, the tight end, with the reception. 2nd and 12, screen for Dean Connors, and he is smothered in the backfield. Might have lost a yard, and that'll make it a 3rd down. It has been a rough one for Dean Connors today. He has been held in check. Warner looks to throw it, under some pressure, rolls to the right, and he has to throw it away. The rough offensive day for Rice continues as Tulane has it back. Here's Mekhi Hughes, breaks a tackle, a 1st and more down the sideline to around the 40. Big run there for Mekhi Hughes. Not often are there 90 overall sophomores in the American Conference, but that's how good this talented young running back is, who certainly will be an NFL player one day. So Tulane now has it in enemy territory, looking to make it a 3-score game, which would put them in a really good spot here, getting close to the 4th quarter. Ty Thompson looking downfield as a wide-open receiver. That goes for a solid gain past the 20. Keith Brown with the reception, and now that sends us into the 4th quarter. Tulane looking to add to the lead on 2nd and goal. Fittingly, it's Mekhi Hughes, who is untouched, walks the red carpet into the end zone. 2nd touchdown of the night for Hughes, and it is 21-0 in favor of the Green Wave. Not looking good here for Rice. This is a statement win for Tulane, if they're able to hold on, of course. Warner on 3rd down with a strike. That one is hauled in for a first down, and then some. Really nice play after the catch by Kobe Campbell, who's been one of the few bright spots at receiver today for Rice, as that one is broken up on 3rd down, and that will lead us to a 4th and 5. Obviously, Rice has to go for it. What choice do they have? Warner alone in the backfield, looks to throw it. Up the middle, picked again! This time the interception is by Jesus Machado with plenty of room. Can he beat the lineman? Yes, he will. A 56-yard pick six. for the senior linebacker, Jesus Machado. 28-0 in favor of Tulane. A blowout for the Green Wave. And this kind of poses the question, even if Liberty does win, does Tulane have the case to pass Liberty? Sure, Tulane has an extra loss, but they've played against considerably better competition. Kansas State was a ranked win. Oklahoma was a ranked win. This is going to be a ranked win. Tulane looks like the real deal. On first down, this one is caught by Campbell. Rice is just looking to get points here. The last thing they want is to get shut out here in the conference championship game, but they've got to punch it in on 4th and goal. It's Dean Connors to the right side, and he is stopped. Fittingly, the Tulane front unit makes the play, and that'll do it. 28-0, a dominant showing from the Green Wave. They will go up to 11-2. So realistically, I think everybody like App State and Boise State, who had a slim shot of making the playoff, is out with this win for Tulane. And now the question comes down to Liberty in our next game. If the Flames win, would they have enough to keep themselves ahead of Tulane? If Liberty loses, you would think Tulane ends up being the Group 5 representative. Their resume speaks for itself. Their 3rd top 25 win of the season, and they do this one in blowout fashion, shutting the door against Rice, winning it again 28-0. Both teams were pretty much even in terms of yards, interestingly enough, but unlike Rice, Tulane was actually able to score. They did not need a huge day out of Ty Thompson. He was very efficient, though, 13 of 16. They just didn't really call his number a lot. They were focused on running the ball with Mekhi Hughes, who only averaged 4 yards a carry. Rice was able to somewhat keep him in check, but he still had some big runs, 49 after contact. So it was more so the Tulane offensive line struggling as opposed to Mekhi Hughes. And then defensively, this unit looked awesome. Not letting Rice score at all. E.J. Warner had a rough day. Dean Connors, who we highlighted coming into this game, a guy who could win the American Offensive Player of the Year, he really struggled. Kobe Campbell played well, but that's really it for Rice. They had nothing else go their way. And with that, we get set for the final Group 5 Conference Championship, Liberty against Middle Tennessee State. The Flames are in a position where they basically control their own fate. If they win, they will likely be the highest-ranked Group 5 Conference champion and will likely go to the playoff. Their challenger is Middle Tennessee State, a team who we played back in Week 1. We shut them out 38-0. They're the only conference championship team who we have seen this year, and obviously they did not look good in that game, but they've played a lot better as the year went along. They lost to Liberty a few weeks ago. It ended up being a close game, 31-24. Nicholas Fasciato, the quarterback, has had a really strong season, anchoring a solid offense for the Blue Raiders. And defensively, they haven't been too bad either. But it's going to be a challenge facing off against this Liberty team, who at 11-1 has the best record amongst Group 5 teams. Their one loss this year came to Kennesaw State, but otherwise, they've been able to beat some strong teams. Sam Houston was ranked going into their Week 14 matchup, and Liberty won by over 40. Caden Salters had a really good year, 34 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions, with rumors of him likely declaring for the NFL draft here after his junior season. Only one of 2 expected underclassmen QBs, along with Jalen Milroe, expected to enter the NFL. Liberty is the heavy favorite, I would say, of all of the conference championship games. The gap between these two teams is probably the largest, especially considering that all Liberty has to play for, with them likely controlling their own fate. So we'll see if the Flames can get the job done, or if Middle Tennessee State can shock the world, and that's not a good start for the Blue Raiders. Dexter Ricks Jr. into the backfield with the sack, forcing a loss of yardage. Liberty now with it on 3rd down. Salter looking for the end zone. Broken up, incomplete. Good coverage there by the Blue Raiders, and so Liberty's going to have to start this game out with a field goal try. Nick Brown on to kick here for the Flames, and this one is up. It is no good. Looks like it was wide to the left, and this game remains scoreless as we move into the second quarter. 3rd and 2 here for the Blue Raiders, looking to take an early lead. Here is Frank Pleasant, the running back, with a nice run. He's had an inefficient season. Did play fairly well when we saw these guys back in Week 1. I think he's a good player. Things just didn't really go well for him throughout the rest of the year, as Middle Tennessee State gets a solid gain to the 1. That's the tight end Holden Willis, one of the best players on this offense. They're going to go with a jet sweep here on 1st and goal, and they are in. Kellen Stewart with the touchdown, and Middle Tennessee State strikes first. I thought Liberty had a chance to really blow these guys out, but it looks like we're going to get ourselves a ball game. The Blue Raiders lead 7-0. Liberty back with it. Salter under pressure. Evades the sack, but he throws it away. Good pressure by the Middle Tennessee State defense. And there I say the Blue Raiders are playing quite well right now. Fasciato on third down is wrapped up, though. He ends up getting sacked, and that'll lead to a punt. Looks like it was C.J. Basil Jr. who leads the way for Liberty, and they will get it back on offense with really good field position past the 50, as this one is caught for a big gain nearing the red zone. A nice play after the catch. That one hauled in by Julian Gray, this team's top receiver statistically. 3rd and 10. Salter for the end zone. It's broken up. Incomplete. Good coverage there by the defense. It looked like it was Brendan Harris, the senior safety, who got a hand on it. And that'll bring out the field goal unit looking to get their first points of the game. This one is up and good for Nick Brown. And so it's 7-3. Middle Tennessee State back with it, up by 4 late in the half on 3rd and 8. Fasciato is sacked again. Another sack for the Liberty defense. This time it's Bryson Jennings who brings him down, and so the Flames will get it back. 2nd and 10. Salter looks to throw it. Looks to the left. He's picked off! Intercepted by Jalen Jackson with nothing but snow ahead of him. He's going to take it all the way to the house for a pick 6. And not only has Middle Tennessee State made this a game, but now they're up by double digits, 14-3. Salter, very next pass is picked again. De'Aaron McDonald with the interception. Caden Salter only threw 2 interceptions in the entirety of the regular season, and now he's just thrown 2 interceptions on back-to-back plays. Middle Tennessee State has a chance to turn this into a blowout, and that they do. 2nd touchdown of the game for Kellen Stewart. It is 21-3. If you told me that was the score late in the first half, I wouldn't be that surprised. If you had told me that Middle Tennessee State was the team up 21-3, I would be floored. Liberty has it back. A disastrous couple minutes for the Flames. They've got to right the ship. 3rd and 5. Salter with no time to throw it. He is sacked. The Cavalry led by the linebacker Parker Hughes. Middle Tennessee State now with a chance to add to the lead. Fasciato downfield. It's Kellen Stewart again. A hat trick for Stewart. His 3rd touchdown of the quarter. And it is 28-3. Middle Tennessee State has scored 21 points in the last 2 minutes. Final play of the first half is fittingly intercepted. This time it's going to be picked off by Tyrell Raby. And that'll do it for the second quarter. Wow! What a show from Middle Tennessee State. This game was scoreless after 1. It was just 7-3 with 3 minutes to go. And now 3 Caden Salter interceptions later. Middle Tennessee State, who doesn't even have 120 yards of offense, leads this game by 25 points. This game has been ugly for Liberty. They look nothing like playoff material. Now, we've seen 28-3 leads be blown before, so I guess it is possible. And the Flames start the second half with a touchdown. It's Quentin Cooley with the score. And with that, it is 28-10. Still a lot of work, though, for Liberty to do. They've got to get some stops here on defense. Defense really hasn't been the issue for them today. And sure enough, they do get another stop. That's Stewart, who has the 3 touchdowns, who does not convert. That'll bring us into the fourth quarter now. 2nd and 10. Play action. Caden Salter, hit as he throws. Gets it to Quentin Cooley with space to the outside. Wrapped up past the 5. Liberty has been clearing away the better team so far in the second half. It might not matter with the 25-point halftime deficit. Here on 3rd and goal. Salter on the run. That one is tipped and incomplete. And they're going to go for it here on 4th and goal. A field goal does make it a 2-score game, so I'm honestly a little bit surprised here by this call. But ultimately, that's what they're going to do. Salter looks to throw it. Dances around in the pocket. Runs to the left, and he is in for a score. Caden Salter with a rushing touchdown. Is the door cracked open for Liberty? Do they have a chance? It's 28-17. 3rd and 5. That one is going to be broken up, incomplete. Liberty with the stop. If they score on this drive, it would only be a 1-possession ball game. 3rd and 5 for the 21. Salter with all day in the pocket to throw it. He's going to look to run, and he scrambles for a first down, bringing it near the goal line. Liberty can taste it. They're about to make it a 1-score game, as long as they don't screw it up. It's Parker Hughes who brings him down, and that'll make it a 3rd and goal here at the 2-minute warning. Liberty's season comes down to this, trailing by 11. Salter hit as he throws, incomplete. And Liberty's going to make the decision to kick the field goal here because it does technically make it a 1-score game. Touchdown and a 2-point conversion would tie it, and given that they're past the 10, honestly, I think this is probably the right call. Nick Brown's kick is good. It is 28-20. Liberty has outscored Middle Tennessee State 17-0 here in the second half. They're not going to go for the onside kick. They trust their defense to get a stop. They've clearly been the better team in the second half. Middle Tennessee State's offense has done nothing here out of the break, but we'll see if they can chew some clock, finish this game off for good, and take home the Conference USA crown in Liberty's trap. 3rd and 3, game comes down to this, and they get the stop. Stewart loses yardage, and Liberty, only down by 8, will get the ball back with a chance to tie it. Who could have seen this coming at halftime when they were down 28-3? Salter on 1st down, that one is caught. Solid gain after the catch, past the 50 to around the 45. Nice play there by Julian Gray, keeping the chains moving. 1st down now with under 1:20 to go. Flames obviously out of timeouts. Salter looks upfield with a strike and another nice gain. Once again, Julian Gray, who gets it all the way to the 15. Liberty moving as quickly as they can. 1st and 10. Here is Salter. Looks to throw it, looking deep. And that brings him inside the 5. It's the tight end, Bentley Hanshaw. 1st and goal. Hanshaw in the end zone. He's got it. And Liberty is a 2-point conversion away from tying this game. TVs in Tulane, Louisiana are probably getting turned off right now because Liberty, who was down 28-3, now has a chance to tie the game with a 2-point try and around 54 seconds. Salter looks to throw it. Under pressure, rolls to the left. His throw is caught by Quentin Cooley. 28-28. What a second half for Liberty, but they've still got to get another stop. Middle Tennessee State has time. They have timeouts, but their offense hasn't done anything in the second half. Maybe with a little sense of urgency and kick in the pants, they can wake up as Holden Willis gets a solid gain for a 1st down. 2nd and 4 with 30 to go. Basciato under pressure. That one is caught near the 50 for a solid gain. It's Javante Sherman who comes down with it. Under 30 seconds left now at midfield. All they need is a field goal to win the game. Basciato up the middle. It's caught for a huge gain. That's going to bring him pretty close to field goal range. It's once again Javante Sherman who makes the play. So now there's 15 seconds left. They're going to run it with Pleasant, and he ends up getting a 1st down. Clear as day in field goal range now for the win. Zeke Rankin, he got it from 36, and Middle Tennessee State survives in the Conference USA Championship. They will upset Liberty 31-28, and it will not be Liberty who goes to the playoff. Tulane, you would think, is the Group 5 team who would get the nod. If not them, probably Appalachian State or Boise State. What a game. It was 28-3 at halftime. Caden Salter threw 3 interceptions in the final minutes of the second quarter. That's more than he had in the rest of the regular season combined. But Liberty woke up in the second half, and Caden Salter pulled a Tom Brady, coming back down 28-3. But unlike Brady in the past, they were not able to win the game. Middle Tennessee State gets the job done, and luckily for them, the clock did not strike midnight before Cinderella was able to fit the slipper on. So Middle Tennessee State comes to Lynchburg, Virginia, upsets Liberty, knocks them out of playoff contention, and now we can say we've beaten a conference champion. We can say we blew out a conference champion. Certainly one of the more fascinating games we've seen so far. Caden Salter certainly had a weird day. Certainly not his best performance. 3 interceptions in the second quarter. Only completed 52% of his passes. But I give him credit. He was money in the second half. But unfortunately, they just dug too deep of a hole in the first half. Julian Gray had some huge plays. Quentin Cooley, the running back, had a good game. Liberty, honestly, was the better team, but they screwed themselves over in the first half with all those turnovers, and Middle Tennessee State continuously capitalizing on momentum. Basciato was efficient. He didn't make mistakes. He did enough for them to win the game. I wouldn't necessarily say he took over the game, But as I mentioned, when we faced off against Middle Tennessee State in Week 1, Fasciato might be a guy, if he enters the transfer portal looking for a Power 4 gig, he'd be a really good fit for a team like us. I'm just saying. And this performance certainly does not hurt his stock in my eyes. So now we get to the Power 4. The SEC, the Big 10, the ACC, and the Big 12. And we're actually going to start with the SEC game. Number 2, Texas A&M, and number 4, Georgia. We'll start with the Aggies, who are coming off a huge win to end the season against Texas to clinch their spot in this game. They lost early in the season to Notre Dame. They also lost to LSU, but otherwise they've been really solid, and they've been playing well down the stretch, including a thrilling 48-45 victory over their rivals, the Texas Longhorns. Connor Wigman looks like a potential future NFL prospect. Had a really solid season, 71% completion percentage, 29 touchdowns. Reuben Owens, the redshirt freshman running back, scored 13 times. Noah Thomas, the receiver, was outstanding. He looks like a guy, given his season this year, is somebody who's going to be playing on Sundays in the future. And of course, the defense is what's most scary about this team. All these highly recruited defensive players. Nick Scorton, 11.5 sacks, 9.5 for Shamar Turner, 6 for Shamar Stewart. The front unit is what's most dangerous about this Texas A&M team. But as we look at Georgia, they rely on speed, generally going faster than 100 miles an hour. Oh, wait, no, that's their criminal records. Okay, I apologize. Nonetheless, Georgia's a strong team. Did they lose to UMass this year? They sure did. I don't know what happened there, but otherwise, they've been really solid. Carson Beck has had his ups and downs this year, but for the most part, when he's needed to make big-time throws, he has. The run game's been a little inefficient, though, with Trevor Etienne, who's missed 5 games with an injury. He will play today. Dominic Lovett and London Humphreys lead a very solid receiving core, and then the defense as well, flying around the field. They are weapons of mass destruction, as they are behind the wheel on the highway. This defense has multiple future first-round picks. Safety Malachi Starks might be the best player at his position in the country. Michael Williams coming off the edge. Dude is a total freak. Smael Mondon Jr. at linebacker. Really, really good player himself. Outside of Oregon, I would argue that Georgia has the highest ceiling in the entire country and the next best chance to win the national championship. But this team also lost to UMass. They are certainly not perfect. And I'm curious to see what this game ends up looking like between two of the most talented teams in the nation. Both of these teams will be going to the college football playoff. It's just a matter of who gets the higher seeding and who gets the first round bye. So there's still a lot to play for, despite the fact that both teams have basically cemented their spots in the playoff as Trevor Etienne starts with a huge run. The younger brother of Jaguars running back Travis Etienne is on 3rd and 3. That one is incomplete, looking for the sideline. And that'll bring out the field goal unit. Georgia looking to make it a 3-0 game. Peyton Woodring on to kick for the Bulldogs. This one is up, and it is through. So Georgia starts this one on the board. They lead 3-0. A&M with it now, 3rd and 11. Connor Wigman looks to throw it. Under pressure, and he is sacked. I thought that was a safety, but they're going to say they got him at the 1. Chaz Chambliss leads the way. He is joined by the former highly touted recruit, Jordan Hall. Georgia back with it up 3-0 as Carson Beck fumbles it, and it's picked up by the offensive line. Gabriel Brownlow-Dindy, the defensive tackle, is there with the pressure. Georgia would have to punt it away as the Aggies get it late here in the first quarter. 2nd and 8. Wigman with a handoff to his running back. That ball's out. It's a fumble, and it's scooped up by the defense. Forced away by Raylan Wilson, and it's recovered by the All-American safety, Malachi Sparks. That was one of the backup running backs, E.J. Smith, who coughed it up. The son of the NFL's all-time leading rusher, Emmitt Smith. A costly play there for Texas A&M, and that ball, as you can see, is clearly out. So Georgia's going to start with it in the red zone. 3rd and goal. Beck under pressure. He is sacked. Nick Scorton leads the way, a likely first-round pick whenever he decides to enter the NFL draft, whether it's this year or next year. One of the best pass rushers in the nation, as he now has double-digit sacks on the season. 4th and goal, that'll bring back out the field goal unit. Kick is good, and Georgia now leads 6-0 early in quarter number 2. We'll see if either offense can wake up, because so far it has certainly been a defensive battle. It is a 2nd and 10 here for A&M. Wigman under pressure. He is sacked again. Once more with absolutely no time to throw it. This time it's Tyrion Ingram Dawkins who brings him down, and that'll make it a 3rd down and 25 for Texas A&M with Wigman alone in the backfield. Short pass is caught. Huge gain after the catch, and they will get the 1st down. Huge play there after the catch by E.J. Smith, who fumbled it on the last drive, looking to make up for it there with a big conversion. That might give this offense some momentum, or maybe not. Smile Munden Jr., the senior linebacker, comes in off the blitz to bring him down, and A&M would not convert on 3rd down. They'll have to punt it away. Georgia gets it back. 5.5 to go here in the first half. Fake jet sweep. Handoff for Trevor Etienne. Jukes away from the defender. Trevor Etienne has had a really good game. 5 carries, 67 yards. He's the only guy on either offense who has been awake so far. 3rd and 8. We'll see if Georgia can score the game's first touchdown. Beck and Etienne once again in the backfield as he looks to throw it under pressure. And it's Nick Scorton again who brings him down. He has been a wrecking crew off the edge. Cassius Howell as well in the backfield with half a sack. Scorton is an unbelievable player. Started his career at Purdue before transferring to Texas A&M. There's a reason why this guy's not only going to go in the 1st round, but probably as a top 10 pick. Legitimately one of the best defensive prospects in college football right now. And there's a lot of good ones, especially on that Georgia sideline. Kick on the way, it's good, and it is 9-0. As Peyton Woodring is now 3 for 3 on field goals. He is the only player for either team to have scored so far. Can A&M get some points before halftime? They won't because Georgia has the ball back. 3rd and 10. Beck, incomplete. Another stop. Another punt. A&M's going to get one more drive, though, with around 45 seconds. And they're just going to run the ball here with Ruben Owens. But he is smothered in the backfield, losing yardage. So Georgia gets it back. Both teams playing hot potato with possession of the ball. Nobody wants to keep it. Beck, under pressure, fumbles it. And it's picked up by Georgia. A close call. That could have given an A&M great field position. Would they have done anything with it? No, probably not. But still, close call. Shamar Stewart with the strip sack. And that'll wrap up the first half. The negative 17 rushing yards should tell you all you need to know. Georgia's averaged 3 yards a play. Texas A&M has averaged 1.3. 9-0 lead for the Bulldogs going into the 3rd quarter as Beck is sacked again. Guess who it is? Nick Scorton brings him down once more. He's got 2.5 sacks this afternoon as A&M gets it back. The crazy thing is the winner of this game is at the very least going to be the number 2 seed, and if Oregon loses, I would think they would be the 1 seed. Neither of these offenses look like 1 seed material. As Georgia drops a pick, they still get the stop. Back on offense, 3rd and inches. Trevor Etienne with the 1st down as he gets it to around the 25-yard line for a solid conversion. At least Trevor Etienne has shown up, if nothing else. This one is going to be hauled in. 1st and goal. Nice catch there as it's Dominic Lovett who comes down with it, the senior receiver who has 13 touchdowns this year. Etienne cuts to the outside. Finally, our first touchdown of the game. It took us pretty much 2.5 quarters, but it's Trevor Etienne with the touchdown. Georgia now will go for 2, and they will get it. It's hauled in by London Humphreys, and the Bulldogs now lead 17-0. A 3-score lead for Georgia as Texas A&M has it back. Still the goose egg on the scoreboard. Wigman on 3rd down goes deep for E.J. Smith. Down the field, he is tracked down a little bit past the 20 by Malachi Starks. A huge game, though, for Smith. On 3rd and 11, they will not get the 1st down. It's Donovan Green, the tight end, who only gets a few. A&M will start the 4th quarter off with a field goal, and oh my goodness, they actually scored. It took them 3 quarters, but Jared Zirkle gets the field goal, and Texas A&M is finally on the board. It is 17-3. Georgia back with it. Looking to hang on and win this game, but with Nick Scorton coming off the edge, I would not be so confident. This dude is an animal. He has like 6 TFLs at this point. Not only has he been good in the passing game, but in the run game as well. He has been dominant. Beck sacked, fumbles again, scoops it up himself. I mean, this defensive line is unreal. Shamar Stewart makes the play. A&M back with it. Wigman looking for the end zone on 3rd down. It's broken up. Obviously, they're going to have to go for it here on 4th down with not a whole lot of time left. And the SEC Championship possibly on the line. Wigman looks to throw it. Under pressure for Michael Williams. It is caught for a 1st down. and the chains will move as they now have it near the goal line. Second and goal for Texas A&M, under 2.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Wigman looking for an audible, looks to throw it under pressure, and sure enough, he is sacked. These defensive lines have been unreal. This time it's Damon Wilson Jr., the sophomore linebacker, who brings him down, and so that'll make it a third and goal from around the 13-yard line. Wigman looks to throw it. Short pass is caught by Jedi Walker. He does not get the conversion, and so that'll make it a fourth and goal from around the 7. Obviously, they'll have to go for it here at the 2-minute warning, and it's thrown well behind the sticks. When you're in a fourth and goal situation, why are you throwing it to the 5-yard line? I get that Noah Thomas is a touchdown machine, but you got to put him in the end zone, right? That's how this game comes to a close. 17-3, Georgia wins it. The Bulldogs are officially in the college football playoff once again. They will officially get a first-round bye, most likely the number 2 overall seed, unless Oregon is upset. And then they probably will get the number 1 seed. As for Texas A&M, they fall to 10-3. Even though their offense was complete dog water, this is not going to be enough to knock them out of the playoff. They were number 2 coming into this game, and sure, they're going to drop down a few spots with possibly some conference champions such as Georgia leapfrogging them, but Texas A&M should be fine. They're going to have to play a game in the first round, but I would suspect that they will get a home game against one of the last at-large teams. Carson Beck wasn't that good. He didn't have to do a whole lot, but it's not his fault. He was under pressure the whole game, 11 carries for negative 61 yards. That should tell you the full story. Despite the offensive line struggles from both teams, Trevor Etienne looked awesome. One of the best offensive players we have seen in this episode today. And then, of course, their defense was terrific. Nobody had more than 1 sack, oddly enough. They only finished with 4, but it felt like they had more. As for Texas A&M, very similarly, Connor Wigman wasn't good. He wasn't bad either, but he never really had a chance, considering how bad the offensive line was. The run blocking was also pretty rough. E.J. Smith did lead the way receiving-wise, though. Their defense did all they could to keep them in the game. 6 TFLs, 2.5 sacks for Nick Scorton. This dude is an absolute animal. I think he is now tied for second in college football with sacks, as he is tied with Oregon linebacker Jeffrey Bassa and only trails Oregon pass rusher Jordan Birch, who we will get to see here in the Big Ten Championship in Indianapolis. Number 1, 12-0 Oregon, the only remaining undefeated team, faces off against the reigning national champion, number 9, Michigan Wolverines, who upset Ohio State in the shoe in Week 14 to clinch a spot in this game. It certainly hasn't been a perfect season for Michigan. They got shut out by Texas in Week 2. They lost to Oregon earlier in the season in what ended up being a pretty competitive, low-scoring game, 23-17. They lost to Indiana, which was a little bit of a surprise, even though the Hoosiers have outperformed expectations this year. But they've performed well since their Week 11 bye week. They've won their last 2 games, including the matchup against Ohio State. Quarterback Alex Orji has been surprisingly good as a passer, and of course, Donovan Edwards is at a phenomenal season on the ground. Wide receiver Samaj Morgan only has 39 catches, but he's been one of the most efficient receivers per reception basis in the nation. Tight end Colston Loveland has a chance to be a first-rounder, and then obviously the defense is very scary. 12 sacks for Josiah Stewart, 11.5 for Mason Graham. He looks like a top 10 pick. Will Johnson at corner, another guy who has a chance to be a top 10 pick. But while we're looking at high draft picks, I don't think there's going to be any team who has more first-rounders over the next few years than Oregon. The amount of high-end talent on this team is impressive. This is head and shoulders the best team in college football right now. They steamrolled through their schedule. They beat Ohio State. They beat Michigan. They beat all these other good teams in the Big Ten. This new conference, they did not need to adjust. Dylan Gabriel had a strong season and is currently the front runner for the Heisman Trophy. Jordan James and Noah Whittington, each with double-digit touchdowns. Evan Stewart, I think, has been one of the best offensive players in the nation. Trayshawn Holden, 19 touchdowns through the air, and that's just the offense. The defense has maybe been even better. 22.5 sacks for Jordan Birch. I think he's the favorite to be the number 1 overall pick right now. Jeffrey Bassa, tied for second in sacks. He's not even a pass rusher. He is an off-ball linebacker who has nearly 14 sacks exclusively off of blitzes. In the secondary, Jabbar Muhammad, Tysheem Johnson, the list goes on. Matayo Uiagalelei has had a big season as a sophomore coming after the quarterback. This Oregon team has so many elite players on both sides of the ball. They are the head and shoulders favorite to win the national title right now. Nobody's been on their level this year, and I'm excited to see them in action against Michigan. Do the Wolverines have any chance to win this game? They get the stop on third down. If Michigan loses this game, there's a chance they drop out of the playoff. That's a big storyline to watch, so Michigan has a lot to play for. 4th and 1, Oregon will go for it. Gabriel on the read option has a first down, and he gets it all the way to around the 13-yard line. Big run there for Gabriel. I think his mobility is a really underrated part of his game. 2nd and 7, here is Noah Whittington. Has a hole, walks it in for a touchdown, and the former Western Kentucky Hilltopper gets the scoring started for the Ducks. They march right down the field and lead at 7-0. Michigan now with it. Their offense is going to have a daunting task keeping up with this Ducks unit. Orji under pressure. He is sacked. Devin Jackson brings him down. It's only a loss of around 2. Orji did a good job of getting a couple extra yards, but ultimately Michigan would still have to punt it away. Oregon back with it. 2nd and 10 late in the first. Gabriel evades pressure, but is still brought down. A number of Michigan defenders are there in the backfield. It looked like Keyshawn Bennett led the way along with Derek Moore. And so that'll make it a 3rd and long. Gabriel looks downfield. He's got Trayshawn Holden looking for his 20th touchdown of the year. Not quite. They catch him at the 10, but a huge gain for Holden. He gains 72 through the air. 2nd and goal. Here's the lead running back. Jordan James breaks the tackle from Rod Moore, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. It has been all Oregon so far. The Ducks look as advertised. They lead 14-0, and Michigan gets it back. 3rd and 11. Here is Orji. Under pressure, sacked again. This time for the Ducks, it's the big fella, number 4, Derek Harmon, who sends him down. 6'5", 320. That is a large human being. Oregon back with it. Gabriel on first down, connects on the wheel route. It's Jordan James, who is out of bounds at around the 6-yard line. This has been utter domination through the first half. There's a reason why Oregon is the only undefeated team left. There's a reason why they're number 1. There's a reason why they're the clear front runner. They look unstoppable. And here is Evan Stewart, who I think will be the first receiver off the board in the 2025 NFL Draft, given how good he's been this year with another score. His 14th of the year. It is now 21-0. Michigan with it late in the half. On 2nd down, Orji is sacked again. A number of defenders were there. Matayo Uiagalelei among them. I think Jordan Birch as well, number 1, who's been the best player in the country this year, was there as well. Birch with at least 1 sack in all 12 games he's played this year. That's insane. They're just going to run the ball here on 3rd down, and Edwards is tracked out of bounds by Jaleel Florence. That'll force a punt. Oregon gets it back. 2nd and 10 from the 45. Gabriel and empty. Short throw is caught. Jordan James again into the red zone past the 20. This offense is explosive. Dylan Gabriel may not make consistent high-end throws, but he's got so many good weapons, and he knows how to get to them, distributing the ball like a point guard. He misfires for James there, though, on 3rd down, and they're going to have to kick. This is Atticus Sappington, the transfer from Oregon State. His kick is good. And Oregon leads 24-0 going into the break. This has been assault here in the first half. Michigan is getting blasted right now by the Ducks, who, again, are clearly the best team in the country right now, and they are showing it on both sides of the ball. Their pass rush has been awesome. Their weapons have been awesome. Coverage has been great. Run game, Dylan Gabriel, everything is clicking. Nearly intercepted, though, on 3rd down. Had a receiver open downfield, but Will Johnson gets a hand on it. And speaking of interceptions, Orji is picked off by Jaleel Florence, one of 2 players in college football with 99 speed. Picks off Orji, and Oregon forces the turnover. However, it'll be short-lived. It's a fumble, and it's picked up by Michigan. They'll get the ball right back. The ball was forced away by what looked like Keyshawn Bennett, and it was recovered by Rod Moore. So the Wolverines get it right back, looking to get some momentum off the turnover, but Orji misfires. The receiver was wide open. That's an easy touchdown if he's able to come down with it, but the pass was way off the mark. Kick from Dominic Zvada is up and good, but we've got a flag, and I think for Michigan, they might be able to keep the ball. A roughing the kicker on Tysheem Johnson, the senior safety, and it'll be a 1st down for the Wolverines. Their offense gets another opportunity to score a touchdown on 3rd and goal. Orji with a strike. What a throw into traffic. But he connects with Samaj Morgan. His 10th touchdown of the year. I talked glowingly about Morgan coming into this game. I think he's been really impressive considering this is a run-first offense. When he's gotten the ball, he has been dynamic. 2-point try for the Wolverines, and Edwards is stuffed. Doesn't get it. Matayo Uiagalelei brings him down at the line of scrimmage, and it's 24-6. Still a 3-score game as James loses it, and Michigan recovers another fumble. Jyshawn Barnum forces it out, and it's picked up in the secondary. I think it was Zeke Berry. So Michigan gets it back. Another fumble for the Oregon offense. They're starting to look a little sloppier, and Michigan's looking to take advantage of this momentum. They get the first down with the junior Tyler Morris. Into the red zone at the 20. It's going to be a jet sweep. This is Morris again. Looks to get by the defender, and he is wrapped up at the 5 by Tysheem Johnson and company. Michigan has a chance to make it a 2-score game. Could we get Liberty and Middle Tennessee State Part 2 with another wild comeback? 1st and goal. Donovan Edwards, the Don, is in the end zone for a touchdown. And Michigan back on the board. They are very much still in this game. It's now 24-13. Oregon's still in the driver's seat, but they're losing momentum. The offense is really slowing down with these 2 fumbles. Gabriel looking downfield into traffic. It is broken up by Rod Moore. He was looking for Tez Johnson, the senior receiver, Bo Nix's stepbrother, who has had a pretty quiet game. Michigan has held him in check. Wolverines back with it as Orji is brought down yet again. There's an Orji in the backfield. There's been a lot of them today. Elijah Rushing, the 5-star true freshman, wraps him up as Colston Loveland cannot hang on there on 3rd and 12, and obviously they're going to have to go for it. Game might be on the line, and maybe Michigan's season, since they're kind of the fringe playoff team if they lose. And it's hauled in by Edwards, who hangs on despite a big hit. Wrapped up out of bounds by Tysheem Johnson. Huge play for the Wolverines to keep the drive and thus the game alive. Orji on 3rd and 10. Tries to escape the pocket. He cannot. And guess who it is with the sack? Jordan Burch. The best player in America, and again, likely the #1 pick in this year's NFL draft if everything goes according to plan with how good he has been. Field goal on the way. It is no good, and it'll remain a 2-score lead. A huge miss from Dominic Zvada, and so Oregon's going to get it back, still with a commanding lead by 11. Huge miss for Michigan. They could have made it a 1-score deficit. Even though Oregon really should be chewing clock, they're going to go empty. Here on 2nd and 8, Gabriel under pressure. He is sacked. You know, maybe they shouldn't have thrown the ball, but at least for them, the clock is still going, I guess, as it's Ernest Hausman who brings him down, and that'll make it a 3rd and 17. Gabriel looks to throw it. Looking downfield, it's the tight end, Terrence Ferguson, who hasn't scored all year. Can he get to the end zone? Not quite. T. Ferg is wrapped up at the 9. Huge play for Terrence Ferguson, gaining 62 yards through the air, and the Ducks might have just iced this game. Looking for some official insurance, though, on 1st down. They punch it in. Jordan James, his 2nd score of the night, and Oregon leads by 3 possessions here at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, 31-13. Not looking good for Michigan, trying to get some late points, hoping for a miracle, and hey, that's a start! Big-time throw by Alex Orji as he connects with Tyler Morris for a 39-yard touchdown. And it once again is a 2-score game. They're going to have to go for the onside kick, and it is recovered by the Ducks. Trayshawn Holden scoops it up, the Alabama transfer. And now a 1st down might end the job. 3rd and 12. Jordan James gets nothing. Michigan's going to use a timeout. They'll get the ball back. They need a score, an onside kick, and another score. It's unlikely, but I guess a path is there. 4th and 14. Orji connects with Colston Loveland. Past the 40 for a Wolverine 1st down. The offense is kind of getting something going here. 3rd and 10. Orji looks to throw it. Clean pocket up the middle. Broken up. Tight coverage by Jabbar Muhammad. And they're going to go for the field goal here. I guess the thought is that it would be a 1-score game. If they get the onside, they'll be down by 8. Dominic Zvada's kick is up, and it is good. A long one from 56 as it's 31-23. And now for the onside, it is scooped up by the Ducks. And that will just about do it. Oregon can kneel out the clock. And there you go. Dan Lanning's team remains undefeated. Oregon, 13-0 in their first year in the Big Ten. They go undefeated, winning the conference championship, and presumably will be the #1 overall seed and the heavy favorite in the college football playoff. Oregon looked legitimately unstoppable in that first half. They led 24-0. Dylan Gabriel, Jordan James, the receivers, the pass rush, the secondary, everything was clicking. But in that second half, they looked a little bit vulnerable. Michigan outscored them 23-7, and maybe a little bit of it was that it was in garbage time later in the game. Their pedal was off the metal, and when this game was close early, Oregon looked awesome. But they were a little concerning in the second half, but I feel like that's pretty nitpicky. This team has a lot less questions than everybody else in the country because, like, even Georgia has lost to freaking UMass just a few weeks ago. Oregon obviously can't say they've done that. Overall, a strong win here, though, for Oregon against the defending champs. Second time they've beaten Michigan this year with a decent game from Dylan Gabriel. Nothing overly special, but he was pretty solid and likely cemented the Heisman tonight unless Jalen Daniels has a huge game against Utah. Trayshawn Holden led the way receiving. Evan Stewart with a touchdown. Jordan James with 2 scores on the ground and a nice day through the air. Defensively, pretty solid. Mateo Uyunglele with a sack and a half. I thought Jordan Birch was kind of quiet. 3 TFLs and a sack is a really good game for literally anybody else, but for him, a little bit low. Only 41% completion percentage for Alex Orji. I will say, I like that he was aggressive throughout the entire game, consistently looking downfield. Obviously, that's going to lead to him not making as many throws. Donovan Edwards was quite solid. Defensively, I thought they held up fairly well, all things considered. Did Michigan do enough, though, to show that they still belong in the playoff? They now have 4 losses. Maybe you can't penalize them for playing in the conference championship game, but even so, they still only went 9-3 in the regular season. Has a team like Rutgers or Oklahoma overtaken them? Let's now go to the ACC. NC State versus Miami. 2 teams in very different situations, as we'll start with the Wolfpack, who started the year 2-4, with losses to teams like Louisiana Tech. But since then, they've been one of the hottest teams in the nation. Blowing out UNC, blowing out Duke, blowing out Syracuse, blowing out Cal, beating Georgia Tech. They have won 6 in a row and have completely flipped the script from an early season disappointment to now a team looking to steal a bid in the playoff. Grayson McCall and Jordan Waters out of the backfield have been electric over these last 6 games. They have flipped this team's season. Dakari Collins looks like an NFL player. Kevin Concepcion was supposed to be the guy. He ended up being the number 3. With this receiving core, and then the defense has been quite solid. Davin Vann with 12 sacks. He's going to be a top 50 draft pick if I were to guess. Linebacker Caden Fordham played really well too. As for Miami, I think this has been one of the 5 best teams in the country throughout the year. They were down 28-0 against Florida at halftime, almost won that game, and then after that they went on a warpath. But over the last few weeks, I feel like they've been asleep at the wheel, and that showed in their loss against Syracuse. Will that game be the kick in the pants that this team needed, or is it a sign of things to come? Obviously, Cam Ward at quarterback is spectacular. If Miami does make the playoff, he will be one of the best QBs in the field. Damian Martinez out of the backfield is incredible. Marley Cook with 10 sacks. Ruben Bain Jr., the edge rusher, is going to be a first-round pick in a couple years once he's draft eligible. Miami's certainly the more talented team, but they've been a little shaky over these last couple of weeks. I thought they were a playoff lock for a while, but now that they're number 11, if they lose this game, there's a good chance they drop out. Since the highest-ranked group of 5 team is not in the top 12, you need to be ranked in the top 11 if you want an at-large spot. So if Miami loses and drops, they're not going to be a playoff team. And the way I see this game is the winner is in and the loser is out. Ward looks downfield early. He connects with a strike. Big time throw for Cameron Ward, placing it in the bucket as it is hauled in by Jashisha Trader, the freshman. 2nd and goal. They will walk it in for a score. It's the 2nd-string running back, Mark Fletcher Jr., who's been ultra efficient for this team, over 7 yards a carry this year. And the U quickly on the board. They lead 7-0. NC State with it now. Grayson McCall, the former Coastal Carolina quarterback, has that one broken up, incomplete. Good coverage as he was looking for his top receiver, Dakari Collins. Damian Martinez, the Oregon State transfer, with a huge gain to the outside into the red zone, wrapped up all the way inside the 5. They're going to call that a passing play, so a huge gain after the catch for Martinez, as that brings us now into the 2nd quarter. 2nd and goal, Martinez breaks the tackle, and he is in. For a team who has sleptwalked through the final month of the year, I've got to say, Miami looks awake right now, and that's a big deal considering we've seen Mario Cristobal-coached teams kind of lose their spark towards the end of the year. So far, that doesn't look to be the case today. Here comes NC State, a nice run of their own. That'll go for a first down and then some. Jordan Waters, the senior running back, statistically one of the top running backs in the nation this year, probably going to get drafted next April. 2nd and 3, good throw inside the 5. It's Dakari Collins who makes the play. Now 2nd and goal. McCall for the end zone. Hauled in for a score, and NC State is on the board. Dakari Collins once again. Even though Kevin Concepcion and Noah Rogers are clearly the two most talented receivers in this group, Dakari Collins has been so good this year. Him and McCall's chemistry has been noticeable. Here is Ward on 3rd down, goes short for Damian Martinez. That will not result in a first down, and that'll wrap up a pretty competitive first half here in Charlotte. 14-7. Miami with the edge. Both quarterbacks look good. Probably the best QB play we're going to see in this stadium this year. My apologies, Bryce Young. I hoped it would have worked out as well. Into the second half now. NC State still very much in this game, only down by a touchdown. However, it looks like McCall will be wrapped up in the backfield. A big loss there on 2nd down, as it's the senior defensive tackle Marley Cook who's raised his stock up in a big way there with half a sack along with Elijah Alston. 3rd and long. That one is caught for a first down and then some. Huge conversion for NC State. It's Noah Rogers, the Ohio State transfer, with the conversion for the Wolfpack. Their offense is back in business, but they've got another 3rd and long here, 3rd and 14 to be exact. McCall looks downfield, another big gain. It's guess who? Dakari Collins. Gets it inside the 10, all the way to around the 6. Now from the 2, they can tie it here on 3rd and goal. Can they punch it in? McCall, play action fake. It is hauled in for a score, but we have a flag, and unfortunately this one is coming back. That's got to hurt. An illegal man downfield on Timothy McKay, the senior right guard, knocks him back 5 yards, and more importantly, the touchdown is held off the board. 3rd and goal. McCall looks to throw it under pressure, and he is sacked. Reuben Bain Jr., the All-American, leads the way. Simeon Barrow Jr. was there as well. And the Hurricanes hold on to their lead. The penalty by NC State looks like it'll be a 4-point swing. And that's assuming the Wolfpack make the kick. Should be a fairly easy one. 29 yards out for Colin Smith, the senior. And that one is good. 14-10. So a good drive for NC State, but it feels like they could have gotten more there. If not for the penalty, this game would have been tied. Miami's marching it down the field pretty nicely here late in the quarter. Their offense has been kind of quiet since that opening drive where I thought they looked really good. Here is Ward up the middle. It's Joshisha Trader with a first down inside the 15. It's been a really efficient day for Ward. Not a ton of big throws, but he hasn't missed anything. 3rd and 8. Ward under pressure on the run. Throws it in the back of the end zone incomplete as he was hit as he was making the throw, and that'll bring out the field goal team. Andres Borregales, one of, if not the best kicker in the country. On for the field goal try. It is good. And the Hurricanes are back up by 7 at 17-10. NC State back with it. Their playoff chances, of course, on the line here in this 4th quarter, down by a touchdown and under 8 minutes to go. McCall on 1st down with a nice throw downfield. It's Noah Rogers past the 40. And much of how it's been throughout the year. Collins has been the number 1. Rogers has been the number 2. And Kevin Concepcion's been kind of an afterthought. Right as I say that, though, Concepcion ties the game. Sorry, Miami, I just jinxed it. Kevin Concepcion, the sophomore from Atlanta, with the touchdown. We're knotted up at 17 with around 4 minutes to go. 3rd and 6 for Miami. They're going to run the ball with Martinez, and he will get the first down, a gain of over 10. I don't think NC State saw that one coming. The delayed handoff proves to be a success. Martinez to the outside, breaking tackles, gets a first down and then some, nearing midfield, and that brings us to the 2-minute warning. Tied at 17 here in the ACC Championship. Winner is in the playoff. Loser is probably out. 3rd and 1. Martinez is stuffed! The Wolfpack come up big, and I think if you're Miami, you can justify doing any kind of call here. A kick, going for it, or punting it, and they will go for the field goal. A long one for Borregales. 59-yarder is good! Andres Borregales drills it! And Miami takes the lead 20-17 with a boot from Borregales, and now NC State gets it back, only down by 3. The door is wide open for the Wolfpack to potentially take the lead. Can Miami get the stop and cement their spot in the playoff, or will we have another hilarious Mario Cristobal end-of-season fail? From the 25, 2nd and 10. McCall up the middle with a strike for Dakari Collins. First down past midfield. From the 49, under pressure, dances around in the pocket, floats it up for Conception! Touchdown! NC State! What a throw! By Grayson McCall, under pressure, off his back foot, off platform to the other side of the field, and he places it perfectly for Conception, who's had himself a huge fourth quarter with 2 touchdowns, including that one from 52 yards out. NC State takes their first lead of the day, 24-20. Field goal does nothing. Miami needs a game-winning touchdown drive from Cameron Ward to save the season, and that's a good start. Joshisha Trader brings it past midfield for the first down. Now he's got Restrepo deep, and that's a touchdown. Miami right back ahead. The senior Xavier Restrepo with his first reception of the game, and it could not have come at a better time. What a throw by Cameron Ward on the money. The biggest drive of Ward's collegiate career so far. Doesn't take long for the Canes to be right back ahead. 27-24 with the touchdown from Ward to Restrepo. And now NC State gets it back. All they need is a field goal to tie. Touchdown wins. 3rd and 10. That one is hauled in for a first down by Dakari Collins. And they're getting close to field goal range. The camera flipped for whatever reason. Just go with it. 3rd and 10. McCall throws it away. And the game comes down to this. 4th and 10, they're not in range for their kicker. It would be roughly a 60-yarder for Smith. Instead, they're going to go. McCall looking downfield. It's broken up. And Miami hangs on by the skin of their teeth. And after all that, the Hurricanes will be going to the college football playoff. 27-24, Miami gets the job done. A huge drive at the end of the game from Cameron Ward to win it for the Hurricanes. It's been an up and down past few weeks for Miami. I don't think they would have made the playoffs with a loss, and NC State gave them all they could bargain for. But Miami hangs on, and they will be representing the ACC, likely with SMU in the college football playoff, and they'll likely get a first-round bye. Presumably, Miami's going to land as the number 4 seed, you would think, if the ranking committee is consistent with how they've ranked throughout the remainder of the season. Got to give NC State a ton of credit, though. These guys battled. Started the year 2-4. It looked like they had no shot. They were not on my radar until about week 13, but they just kept winning and winning, and then I realized, maybe I should pay attention to these guys, and sure enough, they won those final few games, 6 in a row, to steal SMU's spot in this game, and they nearly won it. Cameron Ward with a strong night, 88% completion percentage. As I said, he was not missing throws. The run game was decent, started off hot, really slowed down those the night went along. Joshisha Trader, the freshman, was one of the best players on the field for Miami. Of course, Restrepo with a quiet game. He's had a disappointing season, I feel like, as a whole, but he got the biggest touchdown of the year for Miami. And then defensively, certainly wasn't perfect, but they did enough early in this game to get themselves padding despite a really good set of possessions down the stretch for the NC State offense. Grayson McCall is an absolute dog. Those last 2 possessions, 2 incredible touchdown throws to Kevin Conception. The offense is not to blame for the loss. They were money in the fourth quarter, but they could have done more early. Only 10 points through the first 3 quarters before they really caught their stride late with the big plays from Conception and the huge night for Dakari Collins. So with that, we have gone through every game except for one, the Big 12 championship between Kansas and Utah. And obviously, this is the main event tonight, considering this is still the Kansas Dynasty. Even though this video is almost 2 hours long and we've barely talked about the Jayhawks, we still are going to get to give our guys a lot of screen time here at the end with our most important game of the year against a great Utah team. We have not played against anybody like Utah yet throughout this season. Our schedule has been really easy compared to everybody else in the Big 12. We have not had to face off against all of the Big 12 juggernauts until tonight. A spot in the playoff on the line for our Kansas Jayhawks. Now, if we lose this game, there's still a shot we get in, but we want to control our own fate. For the first time this year, we're an underdog. We've been better than everybody we've played against this year. We were lucky to have an easy schedule and avoiding teams like Utah, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, amongst others, UCF as well. But as we get late into the year, we have to play good teams if we want to get to our high heights, and that starts tonight with the Utes. I think our team has what it takes, though, to not just win this game, but make a run. Jalen Daniels and Devin Neal might be the best backfield in the country. Luke Grimm has been exceptional at receiver. The offensive line's been one of the best units in the country, and defensively, for a Big 12 team, not too bad, with the great freshman seasons from Dekias Brinkley and Damani Maxson. Kobe Bryant has been outstanding. Melo Dotson has been great. This team doesn't have any major weakness, but we do play inferior teams a little too close. I'm hoping we don't struggle here against Utah, who's coming off a big win last week against UCF 28-10. They've beaten some good teams this year. Oklahoma State early in the year as well. Cam Rising at quarterback at 26 years old leads the way for the Utes. Micah Bernard out of the backfield. Damian Alford's had a big season as a receiver. Dorian Singer's really good. Money Parks has scored 12 times. And this defense is quite solid as well. Again, a really good unit for a Big 12 team. This is going to be a major test for our program to see where we're currently at, because again, we haven't played anybody nearly this good. So this will kind of show if our 11-1 season is legit, or if we're lucky because of the early season schedule that we were given. The winner of this game locked into the playoff most likely will get the number 3 seed if everything holds up. The loser hoping for an at-large spot. I would say it's more likely than not that the loser gets in, but especially if this game's a blowout, I could see a world where the loser is replaced by a Big Ten or an SEC team. So here we go, the 2024 Big 12 Championship underway here in Jerry's World in Dallas, and it is Utah who will start with the ball in not so great field position. We'll take a look at Cam Rising, the senior quarterback who leads the way for Utah. His career has been quite the journey, starting at Texas, missing seasons, including last year with an injury. Back healthy this year, running the show, but he's going to lose 4 on 2nd and 10, wrapped up by Jeremy Robinson, the senior edge rusher, and that'll make it a 3rd and 10. Rising will hand it off to Micah Bernard. The Jayhawks don't see this coming, and he gets the first down. A delayed run completely fools the defense, and Micah Bernard keeps the chains moving here for Utah. 3rd and 5, Rising. It's a delayed QB run, and this time Kansas is prepared. Damani Maxson, the true freshman, brings him down. That'll lead to a punt, and we'll take our first look at the Kansas offense. It's been one of the best units in the country this year. Jalen Daniels, 3rd in the Heisman. Devin Neal has been just as good. Daniels' first offensive play of the day is picked. Lander Barton with the interception, and Utah gets it right back. Daniels was looking for Skinner. I think he thought that Skinner's route was supposed to be extended rather than a curl route with Skinner stopping towards midfield. I think that's why he threw the ball there. Really nice play, though, by Barton. I'm pretty sure there is some relation to Bronco linebacker Cody Barton. Luckily, the defense will hold. Rising throws it away on 3rd down, but they are in field goal range. We'll see if Cole Becker can make this kick. It's a somewhat long one from 47. It is up and through. So Utah takes advantage of the turnover by kicking a field goal. Let's hope this drive is a little better than the last one. The bar is low. Let's see if the offense can get going. Daniels keeps it on the option here on 2nd and 6, and he will break the tackle from the defender, getting the first down. Obviously, we know he is electric on the ground, one of the best rushing quarterbacks in the nation. Hand off to Devin Neal on 3rd down, and Utah sees it coming from a mile away. We wanted to fool them with a delayed run of our own. Doesn't work. Leads to a punt. Utah back with it late in a defense-heavy first quarter. There's been no offense today. The anti-Big 12. Marvin Grant with a big hit in the backfield. That was Robinson with the initial hit on Rising. They're really trying to get Rising going on the ground game, and it is not working. 3rd and 5. Rising is picked off. Caleb Purdy out of the slot with the interception, and Kansas gets it in plus territory. So the Jayhawks force a turnover of their own. Both senior quarterbacks with interceptions here in the first quarter. And the Jayhawks are going to start past the 50. Big play there by Purdy, who's able to jump the route for the turnover. And that'll wrap up the first quarter. There has been no offense to speak of. Utah leads 3-0. We have 22 yards. Hasn't been much better for the Utes. They only have 50. Both quarterbacks have already turned it over. And now the Jayhawks looking to get something going here in the second. First play of the quarter, 2nd and 14 for Kansas. It's Devin Neal to the left side with a nice move, breaks a tackle, gets the first down. It was a quiet first quarter for Devin Neal. We know we've got to get him going. He's the engine of this offense as he gets it back with a burst of speed on 2nd and 19 after a holding call. Nearly gets the first down, a run of 18. 3rd and 1 now. Will they go back to Neal? It's not Neal, it's Morrison, and it's a fake. Read option. Daniels loses 3. Great job by the Utah defense to get in the backfield quickly. Nate Ritchie brings him down, and would you look at this? They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Sometimes you got to go for the big play. Not fully in field goal range as it is dropped. Luke Grimm had it in his hands, but could not come down with it, and Utah forces the turnover on downs. So Kansas held off the board. Still, it remains 3-0 as it's a jet sweep and a big run for the Utes. A broken tackle there from Dorian Senior, the transfer, the 2-time transfer of Arizona and USC. 3rd and 3. Bernard stuffed behind the yard to gain. Marvin Grant, who's been flying around the field so far, makes the play. Kansas back with it. They're going to go with a screen for Skinner, and he is stuffed behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of a few. Both of these defenses have been living in the backfield. That was Zemiah Vaughn who brought him down. 3rd and 12. Daniels, clean pocket, has Devin Neal open, and that will go for a first down. Devin Neal was open. Sometimes you just got to go underneath, but unfortunately it will not matter. This one is coming back. Holding against the right tackle, Bryce Cable doing. Instead of a first down with good field position, it is now 3rd and 22. Daniels looks to throw it. Gonna have to go deep, and Grimm was open. Could have been a first down, but he threw it underneath towards his feet. After all that, the Jayhawks would have to punt it away. Utah gets it back. It remains 3-0 as it's going to be a solid first down run there. The backup running back, not Micah Bernard, but Anthony Woods, who gets 14 yards. A different running back, John Randall Jr. in the backfield, as that's nearly intercepted. The curl route jumped by Mello Dotson, who had a pick 6 in his hands if he could have come down with it. 2nd and 10 now. This time it is intercepted. Caleb Purdy picks it off. His 2nd of the ball game, and Kansas will get it with excellent field position, and we'll see if this time they're actually able to capitalize and score. What a first half here for Caleb Purdy. 2 interceptions on the night against a really good quarterback in Cameron Ward, who has pretty much more in-game experience than just about anybody across the country. But Purdy's able to get the stop, and the Jayhawks get it back here, 1st and 10. Clean pocket for Daniel, steps up, looks to run, weaving through defenders, and he gets the first down nearing the 25. This is the farthest down the field Kansas has been. They've got to capitalize. On 1st down, Daniels rolls to the right, has Arnold open, misfires again. Jalen Daniels has missed a few big throws today. It has been an off night for him so far, and he picked the wrong day to struggle. This time it is hauled in. Good throw under pressure as Luke Grimm connects at the 10. But they're having some trouble punching it in. 3rd and goal for Kansas with a minute to go in the half. Daniels under pressure. No time to throw it at all. He is wrapped up for a big loss. Connor O'Toole is there with the sack, and that'll bring out the field goal unit. Owen Piper-Gerdes splits the uprights from 37, and Kansas is finally on the board very late in the first half as we are tied at 3. I feel like we could have taken more advantage of the turnover, but at least we scored. That's not something we've been able to say at all today. Progress and baby steps. Knotted up at 3. Utah, after a holding call, is backed up at the 7. This could be safety territory as Rising connects with Damian Alford, the Canadian receiver who makes up the yardage and then some. Actually gets a first down. Utah's going to choose some clock, though. They don't feel comfortable driving down the field, and it looks like they're going to let this time run out as far as they can. Unfortunately for them, they'll actually get a pretty solid gain back to Alford, who ends up with 9. Now they're going to call their timeouts. Now they're going to try to do something. But with no time left, they're only going to be able to run one play. Rising launches a rocket. It's going to get close, and it is tipped and batted down incomplete. And that'll wrap up the first half. For it to be a Big 12 championship game, with this conference being notoriously about offense, I would have expected a high-scoring start. That has not been the case at all. Kansas, 3. Utah, 3. The score tells you all you need to know. These offenses have been abysmal. Jalen Daniels has really struggled. He has not been able to make throws downfield. Of course, he had the interception early. Cameron Rising, meanwhile, has been picked off twice. Both run games haven't been bad, but they've each been subpar. These defenses are forcing pressure. They're getting stops. The coverage has been outstanding. Let's look at the numbers here for the quarterbacks because it is bad. Jalen Daniels, 8 of 14, has not been accurate. 57% completion percentage. Not pushing it downfield. 3.2 yards per attempt and the interception. Rising, even worse. 6 of 11. He's been a little more accurate. He's been a little bit more consistent throughout the game, but he also has 2 interceptions and a lower passer rating. It has been tough sledding. Let's see if either of these guys can get anything going here in the second half. Daniels looks downfield. He connects. A big throw for Quentin Skinner. Honestly, that wasn't that good of a pass. He led him towards the middle of the field, and if that ball was closer to the sideline, it could have been a bigger gain. Nonetheless, it is going to go for a huge first down. Short throw on the next play. Devin Neal going backwards. It's going to be a loss of a yard. 3rd and 11. I'm not quite sure if they're in field goal range. The kick would be from around 50. Daniels looks to throw it under pressure, has to throw out of the sack. Good job of getting rid of it because otherwise that would have knocked him out of field goal range. This one from around 50, and it is no good! Owen Piper-Gertie's had the accuracy, but it was short. And this game remains tied at 3. So despite starting with the ball here in the third quarter, Kansas does not score, and this game remains tied. Nobody wants to put points on the board. Utah's going to get it back, still knotted up with good field position. They now have it at around the 50. 2nd and 5. Hand off to the right, goes for a solid gain, ends up being a first down. That's John Randall Jr., the 3rd-string running back, a native of Kansas, as he brings them past midfield. I don't know if Utah's gotten past the 50 at all today. This is progress. Micah Bernard, though, goes backwards on first down. O.J. Burrows leads the way. Marvin Grant as well. Marvin Grant's maybe been the best player on the field today. He's been awesome. 3rd down and 9. Rising, looks to throw it. That one is out of bounds, but not before connecting on the first down. It's Munir McClain who makes the play. So Utah converts. They're getting pretty close to field goal range, past the 30. Micah Bernard up the middle. First down and then some. He's wrapped up by Grant. Past the 15. This might be the best drive we've seen from either team today. Can the Jayhawks hold him out of the end zone, though? It is 3rd and long, 3rd and 14 to be specific. Nobody's open. Rising's hit as he throws it from Dekias Brinkley, and he's going to have to throw it away. So Utah's only going to be able to settle for a field goal. Cole Becker's kick here from roughly around 34 yards out. It is up and through. So the Utes are back ahead. It is 6-3. As Kansas will get it back. Maybe, just maybe, we'll get a touchdown soon. So far, nobody's been able to find the end zone. 2nd and 9. Short throw caught by Quentin Skinner. He's had a solid day. Good gain after the catch as he brings it to around the 40. Jayhawks pass midfield. Daniels looking downfield with a strike for Lawrence Arnold. What a throw by Daniels, threading the needle. By far his best pass of the day. And we're going to get half the distance to the goal line, roughing the passer on Junior Tafuna. So now the Jayhawks have it at the 8. 1st and goal. Daniels looks to throw it again. Has space to run with it. Daniels fights his way forward. He's in. Touchdown, Kansas. Our first touchdown of the entire game. It's a rushing score for Jalen Daniels, and the Jayhawks lead for the first time tonight. It's now 6-9. Good play there by Daniels. Goes through his progressions. Nobody's open, but he finds space to run with it. That was a great drive from Jalen Daniels. Very refreshing to see something go well for the offenses. That'll wrap up the third quarter. 10-6. Even though the offenses had their worst game of the year, we are winning, and we are 1 quarter away from cementing our spot in the college football playoff. Can we hang on to this lead? Utah still without a touchdown today, but that might change here. Look at Alford. Breaks a couple of tackles, and he is gone. 87 yards to the crib. Damian Alford with the touchdown, trying to put this team to bed. Kind of an odd celebration considering there's still plenty of time left in the fourth quarter. So after nobody could score in the first 29 minutes of the game, both teams with a pair of touchdowns quickly, and it's 13-10. Daniels on the run. It's somehow caught by Arnold. An unbelievable reception. Throws it into traffic, and Lawrence Arnold makes a ridiculous grab. Good throw as well. Risky throw at that. Here's Neal, stuffed behind the line of scrimmage, and it's now 3rd and 11 with under 7 to go. Daniels calls for an audible, looks to throw it, goes short for Casey, who only gets 5. Utah gets the stop, and I think it would be too crazy to consider going for it here. We're going to punt the ball. Trust the defense. I know we allowed the 87-yard score on the last drive, but look, otherwise, the defense has played a near-perfect game. Can we pin them back deep? Not quite. It takes an unfavorable roll into the end zone. Utah will start at the 20. On first down, it's Micah Bernard to the right side with room. Gets nearly 20 before taking a shot for Marvin Grant, who's got to be nearing double-digit tackles at this point. From the 38, play action. Wheeler sends pressure. Short throw for the tight end, Brant Kuthi, and he's going backwards. J.B. Brown brings him down, and it's now 3rd and 11, maybe the biggest play of the night so far. Rising, can't find anybody, goes short, and it's not much. Money Parks gets maybe a yard or two. Caleb Purdy brings him down, and the offense returns, only down by 3 with around 4 to go. Daniel steps up in the pocket, runs for a first down, nearing the 50 to around the 44. Impressive run there by Jalen as he hands it off for Devin Neal, and he gets a first down to around the 45. So far, so good on this possession for Kansas. All they need is a field goal to tie, but I'm sure they'd like more. Daniels has Lawrence Arnold on the slant, weaving through defenders. Can he take it all the way? Yes, he does! Lawrence Arnold with an incredible play after the catch. A 45-yard touchdown for the lead. The Jayhawks are ahead with just over 3 to play. Wow! What a score from Lawrence Arnold. An unbelievable play after the catch. And he's not known for his speed or his quickness, but he was able to get by multiple defenders, nearly had his own blocker trip him up, but he stays upright. And now Kansas is ahead, 17-13. Defense needs 1 stop, and we're going to the playoff. That's not a good start, though. Damian Alford with the first down. From around the 26, rising up the middle, another first down. It's Money Parks who gets lit up by Marvin Grant. Now from the 44, 2:40 left to go here on first down. Rising connects with Money Parks. That's another first down. The Utah offense looks good on this drive. They are moving it nicely. 2nd and 4 here at the 2-minute warning. Rising is intercepted! Kobe Bryant picks it off, and the Jayhawks get it back past the 40. Kobe Bryant may have just sent the Jayhawks into the playoff. The All-American corner with his 5th interception of the year, and I think this one certainly is his biggest yet. What a play there by Bryant to pick it off. And now the Jayhawks just have to run some clock out with one of the best rushing offenses in America to finish off the job and punch our ticket to the college football playoff. Can we finish it off with the turnover? The defense comes up clutch one more time. Now the offense has got to get this done. 2nd and 8. Daniel Highshaw to the left side. First down. Make sure he stays in bounds to the 45. Utah calls their 2nd timeout. They only have 1 left, and they're not going to have a lot of time left theoretically with the ball. 3rd down and 8. Daniels alone in the backfield. It's going to be a design screen. Lawrence Arnold, first down ends it, and he's just shy. He was right there, and that'll make it a 4th and inches. I trust our defense to get another stop. But when you're this close, punch it in and finish it off. As the play clock and the game clock wind down to under a minute, this is our opportunity to clinch a spot into the playoff. All we need is a simple QB sneak to win this game. Put it in the hands of Jalen Daniels, and he does not get it! Utah with the stop! And the Utes have life. The defense comes up big, and they will get it back here on offense with close to a minute left. Here is Rising on first down. Looks downfield for Kuthi. He gets it past the 30. And all of a sudden, Utah is alive and well. Not only do they have a pulse, but they are breathing quite nicely. Rising spikes it, and the clock stops. 2nd and 10. Under pressure, the true freshman, Dakius Brinkley, brings him down, and this game comes down to 2 plays. 3rd and 15. Rising looks to throw it. Has time. Short throw is caught by McLean. He has a first down. Nearing the 10, and he's out of bounds. Nobody was open, so he dumps it off to Munir McLean, who converts. 1st and goal. Rising, looking, end zone, touchdown! Dorian Senior with the score, and Utah takes the lead with seconds remaining, 15 to be exact. We thought this game was over. Kansas had opportunity after opportunity to close the deal, and they couldn't do it. Utah up by 3 with 15 seconds remaining. As that'll bring us to the following kickoff. We will have Devin Neal return this. This isn't normal for us, but I feel like we've got to give him the ball here, and he's going to get to maybe the 20 with 11 seconds. We do have all 3 timeouts, so theoretically, if we get a few chunk plays, get ourselves in field goal range, you never know. Field goal is fine. Daniels looks downfield on first down. It is broken up. Casey had it in his hands, but it's jarred away, and we are down to 5 seconds. On second down, he wants to get it out quickly. Arnold drops it as well with 1 second, and now we're going to have to throw the ball up. 3rd and 10 from the 20. Game on the line, maybe our season on the line as well. Daniels has time. He's going to look to scramble to the left. Now under pressure, he's got to get it out. Hit as he throws, incomplete. That'll do it. Utah has shocked the world, coming back to win the Big 12 championship 20-17, and they will go to the college football playoff. An absolute stinger for the Jayhawks because we thought we had this game won. After the Kobe Bryant interception, after we started to chew some clock, we got the big first down with Highshaw. We thought the game was over, but unable to convert a 4th and 1, maybe even 4th and inches QB sneak. And Utah, who only scored 1 touchdown off of an 87-yarder, it wasn't even really a touchdown drive, they were able to march down the field quickly with no timeouts to score for the win and punch their ticket into the 2024-2025 college football playoff. If we do end up missing the playoff, this game is going to sting for a long time because, again, we had so many chances to win it. We should have been able to finish off the game late in the 4th quarter, and we didn't. This is a weird game because I'm not really sure who deserves the blame. On one hand, the offense really struggled. This was their worst game of the year. But when they needed to make some plays late, I thought they were pretty good. As we look at the defense was awesome the entire game. But when they needed to get stops, they didn't. Cam Rising did throw 3 interceptions, and really Utah only had 1 good drive. So for that, I don't think we can pin much blame on the defense. The problem is the 1 good drive happened right at the end of the game when Utah needed a score to win the game. Certainly was not the best outing from Jalen Daniels. I will say he looked a lot better in the second half. He was very inaccurate in the first half whenever he looked more than 5 yards downfield. Definitely improved in the second half, but didn't do enough. The run game was quiet. Lawrence Arnold was brilliant. He was our best offensive player, but Luke Grimm was held in check. Devin Neal was as well. Those have been our 2 best receivers over the last month. Today, they only combined for 37 yards. And then again, defensively, I know the defense choked at the end. I still feel like they deserve a ton of credit because it shouldn't have come down to that. The Kobe Bryant interception should have been the last defensive play, but it wasn't. Our offense wasn't able to convert, and ultimately, that's how we fall. And now that poses the question of if we still will get an at-large spot into the playoff. I think our resume speaks for itself. We're 11-2 in a power conference. We have a dynamic offense, a really strong defense. I believe that we deserve a spot, but it's not up for me to decide. It's up to EA Sports, which kind of scares me. So next episode will be the college football playoff reveal. We're going to look at all the matchups. We're going to see who's playing who. And most importantly for us, we're going to see if our Kansas Jayhawks will, in fact, make the playoff. Hope everyone enjoyed it. This was a long episode to make, over 2 hours in length. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.